Pharrell Williams is sparking fresh speculation about a new Jay-Z album. During Jay-Z's Yankee Stadium residency, Pharrell told the crowd the rap icon is getting ready to go to work, fueling rumors of new music. Get BIN News now, on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Now at Big O, get happy with our Healthy Car Special. Includes a full synthetic oil change, 4-tire rotation, alignment check, brake, battery, and windshield wiper check. Plus, fluids topped off, all for only $59.99. Healthy car, happy life. Now at your local Big O Tires.
Is this the time?
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers begin the second half of the season Friday night in New York against the Yankees. The 3-game series with the Yankees is part of a 9-game road trip for the Dodgers on the East Coast. The road trip will be a good test for the Dodgers to maintain their stature as Major League Baseball's best team. Spain is in the World Cup championship match after their 2-0 win over France in the semifinals. Spain will meet the winner of today's semifinal between England and Argentina. The World Cup final is Sunday in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The WNBA would prefer folks not to talk about this, but I'm going to mention it anyway. 65% of WNBA players are African American, but none of the 15 teams in the WNBA have an African American woman as their head coach. 7 of the head coaches are white women, 8 are men. The WNBA needs to work on this issue. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Let me put my hard hat on, go back outside, and see if these procrastination Crenshaw construction crews have shown up yet. I'm saving space for grace, but if these trucks don't show up soon, well, you already know.
Destination Crenshaw, your time is up. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. KBLA Talk 1580 and Bethesda Temple Church invite residents, churches, businesses, and community leaders along the Crenshaw corridor to join a vitally important community conversation Thursday, July 30th, 6:30 p.m. at Bethesda Temple Church, 4909 Crenshaw Boulevard. For years now, this community has been living with unkept promises and the devastating effects of the unfinished Destination Crenshaw construction project, leaving residents, businesses, and churches to deal with myriad problems, including the loss of parking, restricted access, traffic congestion, and a lack of emergency vehicle access when it matters most. For years now, Procrastination Crenshaw has directly contributed to the loss of customer revenue for local black-owned businesses and, sadly, has forced the closure of some businesses along this 1.3-mile corridor. For years now, churches have been experiencing decreased attendance due to the elimination of parking, and social service programs for vulnerable fellow citizens have been altogether halted. For years now, residents have watched their quality of life erode, and nothing has been done about it. If they think they can get away with treating black folk like second-class citizens, they better think again.
You better think about what you're trying to do to me.
This town hall meeting is a reckoning, a public witness, an opportunity for impacted community members to share their experiences for the public record as we prepare to hold those responsible accountable for this enduring nightmare. So please join us Thursday, July 30th, 6:30 p.m. at Bethesda Temple Church, 4909 Crenshaw Boulevard. This town hall meeting is free and open to the public, but registration is required at KBLA1580.com. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley, and as always, we welcome your feedback.
But I'll be alright as long as I can find the good.
Live from historic Leimert Park in Los Angeles, California, I'm Tavis Smiley, and I'm so glad to see you and me back in stride again. Before we get started with today's show, let me invite you to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at the real Tavis Smiley, and get updates on X, that's formerly Twitter, at Tavis Smiley. By the way, should you miss any part of today's program or want to catch up on previous shows, you can always visit thetavissmileyshow.com. That's thetavissmileyshow.com, or wherever you get your podcast, and listen to the Tavis Smiley podcast version of this live program at your leisure. Another great show on tap for you today. In our second hour, law professor, legal analyst, and author Gilda Daniels shares her analysis of yesterday's rare congressional testimony by not one but two Supreme Court justices, Elena Kagan and Coney Barrett, on a variety of subjects ranging from escalating threats to voter advocacy matters. It was the first appearance by members of the Supreme Court before Congress in 7 years. 7 years. Maybe that's part of the problem, but I'll hold my fire until we get to hour two. In our third hour, songwriter, producer, and 5-time Grammy winner Carvin Winans. He's one of the founding members of the Winans. Talk about a gospel music dynasty. Carvin is the twin brother of Marvin. For you Winans fans, you already know that. He comes live in studio today in our third and final hour for a career conversation and to talk about some of his new music projects. But in this first hour, let's talk politics and more with the politics and democracy reporter for The Guardian, George Chidi. George, good to have you on the program. How are you today, sir?
I'm excellent. I'm incredibly honored. I appreciate you.
Oh, no, it's an honor to have you on. I appreciate you just as well. Thank you for those kind words. Let me start with this. There's a lot going on today. I think I want to start, Miles, with this clip from Dick Durbin. This is Dick Durbin, who I've had my criticisms of here and there. He's one of that gang of 8 that gave Donald Trump the votes he needed to get that bill across the finish line when many of us were standing firm and protesting. You'll recall that. Durbin went the wrong way on that, but I digress on that for now. He's retiring from the Senate out of Illinois, as you well know, and there's a sister likely to take his place, lieutenant governor there in Illinois right now. So that's who Dick Durbin is. Most of you know that already. So Todd Blanche has been the acting AG since they pushed homegirl Pam Bondi out. He's been acting, but now he is Trump's nominee to be the Attorney General, and he's taking some heat, as he should, on the Hill. So take a listen right quick to Dick Durbin going in on Todd Blanche yesterday.
I'm proud of what we've done to help American families see safer streets and to have a fair shot at the life they're working to build. None of this is a Republican or Democrat issue. Every senator here has constituents who just want to be safe. The men and women of this department are the finest people I have ever worked with, and leading them is the honor of my professional life. We are keeping America safe, and we are just getting started.
You have also baselessly indicted the Southern Poverty Law Center, a civil rights organization that has worked tirelessly to expose violent extremists like the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers, a group which we in the Senate know well for their January 6th escapade, the same people you gave a clean slate for their role in attacking this Capitol. A federal judge recently singled out your, quote, remarkable statements targeting Kilmar Abrego Garcia as evidence that his criminal prosecution was, quote, marked by a retaliatory taint for successfully fighting his deportation. And despite my repeated request, you've yet to produce the DOJ memorandum concluding that it was legally permissible for the President of the United States to accept a gift of a luxury airliner from the royal family of Qatar. Your tenure can be summed up in the 4 words you said, quote, I love you, sir, to President Trump. This was your response when you were asked what you would say to him. This nation deserves an Attorney General who loves the Constitution more than any single president, an Attorney General focused on keeping America safe and combating corruption, not satisfying the president's personal grievances or channeling crypto cash to the administration's MAGA faithful.
Dick Durbin is no Mitch McConnell, but with that kind of energy, you need to go home. Dick Durbin needs to get back home to Illinois, Florida, somewhere into retirement. You're making a strong case, but you wouldn't know it by the energy, the lack of energy in his argument. I digress for now. Nonetheless, that's Dick Durbin going in on Todd Blanche, if I can frame it that way. Todd Blanche has no business being Attorney General. I know that. You know that. Everybody knows that. And yet my sense is that he will be. We'll get George's take on that and a great deal more just getting started here on Tavis Smiley. I mentioned that we've got gospel music royalty coming live in studio today in our third hour at Carvin Winans, which makes it easy for me to play some of the best of the Winans all 3 hours today. Why not? You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
If I could find a place to hide away, pack all my things that I need today. If I could be assured of one thing true, there would be no one else there but you. If I could find a place on the mountainside, surely I would just run and hide. If I could do the thing that I need to do, I would talk to no one else but you. I need a sacred love. I can feel a secret prayer. Need a sacred love. No one else would be there. There's a secret place. Oh Lord, where I can hide away, talk to you all I need.
From Lamert Park with love, this is Tavis Smiley.
My name is Ariel. When I arrived in the U.S. at 19, I struggled to find job opportunities without my high school diploma. My entire life changed when I took a chance and got my high school diploma at age 22. Everything I have, my education, my career, my marriage, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and my teachers. They were with me every step of the way, helping with my English and math, making sure I pushed through all the challenges.
Ariel, your success proves that what I'm doing as a teacher has real meaning.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You have something to say, and we want to hear it. KBLA Talk 1580 is engagement radio, not outrage radio. A place where your hopes, your frustrations, and your ideas are welcome 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Real talk, real people, real Los Angeles. KBLA Talk 1580, the station that sounds like the city looks. Tune in on your AM radio dial at 1580. Download our free KBLA 1580 app or listen live on our website at KBLA1580.com.
Unapologetically progressive.
Oh no.
Straight the roof down.
I don't know if I have time. Please, God, save us. Save our house. Please, God, please.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we haven't forgotten what happened Tuesday, January 7th, 2025.
The trauma, processing the loss of our home. How do we address the compounding effect of the fire now more than 18 months later? I noticed one of my 3 children engaged in self-harm who hasn't been able to articulate the challenges that they've had since the fire. And 4 out of the 5 folks in our household are in therapy. 1 is not. And the one that's not is the one who I noticed with some marks on their person. This isn't okay. You need to talk to someone.
Black historical memory keeps alive the stories and struggles of everyday people and communities. Black historical memory preserves truths that others attempt to erase, minimize, or distort. Black historical memory prevents history from repeating its worst chapters. At KBLA Talk 1580, we will never forget. Tune in to Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr, weekends on KBLA Talk 1580. 1580.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
A man came to Jesus, saying, "Sir, will you help my child?" And evil spirits come over him that makes him act so wild. Cast him into fire, and if life it tries to take. And I am rendered helpless while my son just pines away. I took him to your disciples, but they didn't have the cure. They said if you just touched him, that he'd be made whole for sure. Jesus said, "Sir, do you have faith in me? All things are possible if you can just believe." He cried, "Lord, I believe." Lord, help I see. Lord, help I see. Lord, I believe. But help my unbelief. He cried, "Lord, I believe." Lord, help I see. Lord, help I see. Lord, I believe. But help my unbelief.
It's the best of the Winans, all 3 hours of our program today, because Carvin Winans is coming live in studio today in our third hour to talk about. It's a career conversation, really. So much to talk about with any member of the Winans family. But these four brothers were out first, before BB and CC, before Angie and Debbie, before Daniel, before Winans, the next phase, the next generation. There are four brothers, before mom and pops even. The four brothers were out first, and so I'm looking forward to Carvin Winans coming live in studio today in our third and final hour. So it's a good excuse to play some of the best of the Winans all 3 hours of our show today. But I'm anxious now to spend the rest of this hour talking to George Chidi, politics and democracy reporter for The Guardian. So much to get to. So, George, I played that clip a moment ago of Dick Durbin doing his best to find some energy to challenge Todd Blanche. But I'm already concerned about this. Let me correct myself. I said that sound was from yesterday. I was mixing two things up. The clip I'm going to play for you later was from yesterday regarding the appearances of the two Supreme Court justices. I'll play that clip a little later. But the clip I played earlier of Dick Durbin and Todd Blanche is actually from this morning. Those hearings are still underway, even as I speak right now for this live recording of this syndicated show in L.A. So those hearings are underway right now. So that was just literally moments ago when Dick Durbin had his back and forth with Todd Blanche. All that said, George, my sense is that even though he has no business being the AG, he's been the acting AG, he will be the AG. And I'll go a step further. Some Democrats are going to vote for him. That's my read. What's yours?
I would actually be surprised if any Democrat votes for him.
Okay.
Because I think we're at a place where I'm not sure Democrats can vote for any nominee of the president, particularly around legal issues, given everything we know about what the Justice Department has been doing or not doing over the last 18 months.
Fetterman, last I checked, still has a D behind his name. You got Fetterman voting against him too?
Probably. I could be wrong. I would be unpleasantly surprised, but Fetterman's a little weird. I think he could vote for him, but I think this is a dangerous vote for any Democrat, even him. And in part because Blanche is particularly toxic. We are talking about nominating President Trump's fixer, like the guy who represented him in the Stormy Daniels porn payoff case, somebody who's been running interference on the Epstein files, which is turning into a serious political issue, like in the midterms. I just don't see anybody who does this is going to have any cover from it later.
Let me ask you. I was just saying to some people yesterday in a meeting that sometimes you got to fight with your friends, and I'm going to fight with my friend George Chidi for a second here because I think George is wrong about this. I could be wrong. We will see when this vote goes down. We will see. What you're hearing George Chidi say is that every single Democrat in the Senate is going to stand firm and align with Dick Durbin and vote against Todd Blanche's AG. I'm going to play this tape back tomorrow when the vote goes down. But George is saying that every single Democrat is going to line up. Now, here's my pushback. You can be right about that. I hope you are. I want to be wrong about this tomorrow whenever this vote goes down. But you do realize there's not a single member of Trump's cabinet, including Pete Hegseth, with all the baggage he had. He was toxic. There's not a single Trump nominee that I'm aware of. If I'm wrong, somebody rescue me. Somebody rescue me if I'm wrong. Send me some data right quick. But I can't think of a single nominee that Trump has put forth where some Democrats did not cross the line to vote for him. I've opined about this repeatedly on this program. And so, again, I just gave you George Fetterman as one example. He's basically a Democrat in name only pretty much these days when you look at his votes. So I just threw one out just to tease you, George. But tell me why you believe in this moment Democrats are so stalwart and so firm when they've not done this on any other nominee. What makes this different? That's my question.
Some of it is because of who the nominee is and who the previous nominees have been.
Okay.
Take Mark Wayne Mullen, for example. Whatever else was going on, he was a United States Senator. The folks who were confirming him knew him. They knew him well. They knew him personally. So I would have, okay, you get some crossover votes because of personal relationships. Todd Blanche is a lawyer who worked for Donald Trump. He's got no relationship with Democrats in the Senate. And his relationship with them has been over things like threatening to arrest the governor of Minnesota and the attorney general in Minnesota after the Preddy and Good killings, saying that they were fomenting terrorism. He is unusually toxic. And I think that, as is normal, Democrats who are voting for, confirmation when a Republican president has been elected provide some deference. That has been the tradition. I think we're a year and a half into the term and we know how things are going, and I don't think there's any room for deference left.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at some data here, and maybe I misremembered the Pete Hegseth thing. So it again, that's why I have a bright audience. When I step out here and say something that may be incorrect, somebody corrects me. So on the Pete Hegseth thing, the data suggests not a single Democrat in the Senate did vote to confirm Hegseth as defense secretary, and so maybe George Chidi's right. Maybe Hegseth, again, that's the only example that people have sent me so far. I'm looking through this data as fast as I can while George is talking. So if what I'm looking at is correct, and it's hard to believe AI on everything, so maybe somebody on my staff will confirm that right quick. But if not a single Democrat voted for Pete Hegseth, that's the one I know. So I said I couldn't think of one. And so somebody has reminded me that maybe there is one. I just don't. But the larger point here is that these nominees have been toxic in so many ways, and these Democrats have crossed the aisle. Again, I hope you're right about this, but let me take it a step further to the point you made earlier. So that because he is so toxic, if there are Democrats who in fact cross the aisle and vote for him because the president has autonomy, he has agency to choose who he wants. Is that correct? That is correct. Nobody voted for him. Okay, right. So my team just confirmed that. So no Democrat did cross the line to vote for Hegseth. So there's one example of Democrats standing firm and staying together. We'll see what happens again on Todd Blanche today. This is the problem with relying on your memory when you get to be a certain age. I just didn't recall that. But that's why we have fact checking around here. But if a Democrat, to your point, does in fact cross the line to vote for Todd Blanche because the president has agency and autonomy to decide who he wants to be his AG, what do you think is waiting for them on the other side of that vote, George? That's the question.
Well, I mean, look, if any Democrat votes for him, it's going to be an issue. It'll be an issue in 2 years. I promise you. These confirmation votes are actually going to matter, because the irony here is that Blanche has been working with the administration on this sort of anti-weaponization thing, which is in fact a weaponization program for Republicans to go chase Donald Trump's enemies down. Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, the administration is, in my opinion, committing crimes. Mm-hmm. There is going to be an accounting at some point over what has happened and who did what and who was standing in the breach or wasn't. That moment is coming. And I don't know what Democrat wants that vote flashing in a primary, especially given the primary election climate for Democrats right now.
Mm-hmm. Let me tell you more about, remind you about this Hegseth vote as my team is sending me some data about this. I am curious, Jay-Z, Faraji, Miles, Dominic, anybody. I am curious if there's any other nominee that Democrats have stood firm on beyond Pete Hegseth. Somebody check that right quick. I'm just curious. I'm just trying to make the point that Hegseth is an outlier.
He's an outlier. I can't think of a bunch of other nominees where Democrats didn't cross the line because we've discussed it so many times on this program. That said, the U.S. Senate did approve Hegseth as Trump's defense secretary. This is in January of 2025. The senators split right along party lines. 50 Republicans supported Hegseth, and all 47 members of the Democratic caucus did, in fact, vote against Hegseth. They were joined in their opposition by 3 Republicans, which meant that it was tied 50-50. It's all coming back to me now. J.D. Vance had to break that tie because it was tied 50-50. So those 3 Republicans that crossed over to join Democrats voting against Hegseth were Mitch McConnell, Lisa Murkowski, and Susan Collins. So those 3 persons did cross over, joining Democrats to vote against Hegseth. That's how it got to be tied 50-50. J.D. Vance shows up as the vice president, who is the president of the Senate, essentially, comes in, breaks the tie, and on a razor, it can't be more razor thin than that. It's a tie, and the Senate president, the vice president, has to come in and break the tie. That's how Hegseth got across the finish line by the skin of his nose. And so, that said, we will see what happens with Todd Blanche, but these hearings for Todd Blanche, again, it's what's troubling me, George, and I think you and I feel similarly about this. What's troubling me is that we know who this guy is. To your point, he's toxic. We've seen the record. If he is the king of Trump sycophants. I mean, there are a lot of folk you got to fight with to be the king of sycophancy around Donald Trump, including Pete Hegseth, for example. They're all kissing that behind all day, every day, trying to impress Donald Trump. It didn't save Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi did that as well, and she still got blown out. That's how Todd Blanche becomes the acting AG, because Trump, with all the kissing up to Trump that Pam Bondi did, again, it wasn't enough to save her. We know who this guy is. He was the president's. He's the president's personal attorney, and so now he wants to be AG, and it's just tragic that in this moment, I think he's going to get through. So here's the question. There were 3 Democrats who crossed the aisle, as I said a moment ago, to join Democrats in their opposition to Pete Hegseth. You end up with a tie. J.D. Vance has to come in and tie it. What are the chances? Although everybody knows this guy does not deserve to be AG, let's step out on a limb here again, George. What are the chances that 3 Republicans cross the line again? The Republicans cross over again. We end up with a tie on Blanche, and J.D. Vance has to break the tie. Yeah.
Oh, wait. No, yes, because I was about to say, because Lindsey Graham's sister has been appointed.
That's
so
right.
She is a vote. Assuming McConnell can show up and actually vote, because I honestly think that's an open question. I don't think it's 0. I think there's a possibility that somebody like, Susan Collins in Maine or Lisa Murkowski in Alaska, or maybe another Republican who's on the bubble somewhere, or Senator in Louisiana who just lost his primary and is sore at Trump for any number of different reasons. Or John Cornyn, who lost his primary in Texas.
Right.
Trump's base of support among Republicans is not perfect right now. It is very strong, but it is imperfect, in part because the president has terrible polling numbers right now.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't want to be tied to him. I don't know if it gets through. Probably does, because if it wasn't, because they would have counted votes at this point. So I think your assumption is correct.
Yeah.
I think he will be confirmed. But I also think it'll be tighter than anybody in the Republican Party wants.
Yep. We shall see. So the hearings for Todd Blanche to be a permanent AG, or the AG, there's no word is permanent. He's acting AG. He will become the AG if he survives this Senate vote. Again, the hearings are underway even as we speak. Played a clip earlier of Dick Durbin out of Illinois questioning Todd Blanche, but that's underway even as we speak. So it turns out that Todd Blanche ain't the only person on the Hill who's in some trouble. You know who else is? The minority leader on the House. Let me come forward with George Chidi. Will jump from the Senate to the House side. Hakeem Jeffries says that he will oppose a bid to cut off aid to Israel. Now, we've talked time and time again about all the trouble that Democrats are in. Kamala Harris is trying to make the rounds because she didn't play this issue right when she ran for president. We've seen all of the post analysis about why Democrats didn't win the White House, that is. And this issue of Israel and Gaza is front and central. Everybody knows it. Hakeem Jeffries says yesterday that he will oppose a bid to cut off aid to Israel while everybody has questions about what's happening in the Middle East. What price is Hakeem Jeffries going to pay for that? And a great deal more to cover with George Chidi when we come forward here on Tavis Smiley.
Helping to stretch your moral and political imagination. This is Tavis Smiley.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. White 19-year-old Lucas Roper in Dallas, Texas, has been arrested for evidence tampering in the drowning death of black 18-year-old Daniel Irving, whose body was found in Lake Ray Hubbard in April. Dominique Alexander with the Next Generation Action Network.
Tampering with the evidence charge is an outright disrespect to this family.
The victim's family is demanding murder charges, alleging the suspect tried to cover up the incident by deleting messages from Irving's phone. A black woman from California, 28-year-old Raizana Greenhoward, is facing murder and child abuse charges nearly 8 months after the death of her 2-year-old son in Lancaster. Investigators say the child suffered severe burns, and authorities are still working to determine exactly how he was injured. And Maryland's black Governor Wes Moore has approved an expansion of Baltimore's enterprise zone by 120 acres. State officials say the move is designed to spur economic growth. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Now at Big O, get happy with our Healthy Car Special. Includes a full synthetic oil change, 4-tire rotation, alignment check, brake, battery, and windshield wiper check. Plus, fluids topped off, all for only $59.99. Healthy car, happy life. Now at your local Big O Tires.
Is this the tiger?
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers begin the second half of the season Friday night in New York against the Yankees. The 3-game series with the Yankees is part of a 9-game road trip for the Dodgers on the East Coast. The road trip will be a good test for the Dodgers to maintain their stature as Major League Baseball's best team. Spain is in the World Cup championship match after their 2-0 win over France in the semifinals. Spain will meet the winner of today's semifinal between England and Argentina. The World Cup final is Sunday in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The WNBA would prefer folks not to talk about this, but I'm going to mention it anyway. 65% of WNBA players are African American, but none of the 15 teams in the WNBA have an African American woman as their head coach. 7 of the head coaches are white women, 8 are men. The WNBA needs to work on this issue. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
BET and PBS, the Tom Joyner Morning Show, and NPR, the cover of Jet and the cover of Time. #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list, 20 honorary doctorate degrees, a dozen NAACP Image Awards, a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. From talk shows to talk radio, nobody's ever done it better. You like that? This is Tavis Smiley. KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
July is Disability Pride Month, a time to celebrate identity, individuality, and inclusion. Pride means showing up as your full, authentic self without apology. Let's celebrate what makes every one of us unique. Easter Seals Disability Services honors Disability Pride Month. Learn more at socal.easterseals.com.
At concerts, we dance to the same tune. At games, we hug total strangers. At marathons, we hand water to people we'll never see again. We pull over to help. We stop for someone who's fallen. We give. We step up. We show up. And yet, in these moments, there's also something we don't do. We don't act based on how they look, who they love, where they're from, or what they believe. We just act. Because the things that make us different will never change what makes us human. Go to lovehasnolabels.com to learn more. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Please be advised. You may want to stop eating the following foods immediately: broccoli, kale, bean sprouts, blueberries, quinoa, spinach.
Wait, what? I thought those were good for me.
Turns out, not for everyone. Because what's healthy for one person can cause inflammation for another. And the only way to really know what your body needs is to listen to it.
Listen how?
That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple, at-home gut health test that looks at your body's real-time biology using RNA to understand what's happening inside you right now. When your results come in, you'll learn exactly which foods to eat, which to avoid, and which supplements are right for you, all based on the world's largest RNA-based human biology database and thousands of clinical research studies. And many people who use Viome report more energy, better digestion, and a better mood within months. So stop guessing. Start knowing. Learn more at viome.com/gut. V as in Victor, IOME.com/GUT. And use coupon code GUTHEALTH50 to save $50 off your purchase. Viome. Trust your gut.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Best of the Winans, all 3 hours of Tavis Smiley today. Why? Glad you asked. Because Carvin Winans, one of the founders of the Winans, the first group out from that amazing gospel music dynastic family. Carvin Winans comes live in studio in our third hour today to talk about just what it means to be a part of this amazing family and all the hits they've brought us on the soundtrack of our lives. Carvin has got some new solo music that we'll talk about. But again, the four brothers, Ron and Michael and Marvin and Carvin, the twins, the four of them came out first for you Winans fans. And then, of course, we all fell in love with BB and Cece, and then Angie and Debbie and Daniel and all the rest of the Winans. Mom and Pop Winans put their albums out, but this family is absolutely amazing. So gifted they are in this particular lane of music, witness, and worship. And so we're looking forward to talking to Carvin Winans in our third and final hour today when he comes live in studio. So just a great excuse to play some of the best of their hits all 3 hours of our show today. So George Chidi is our guest, politics and democracy reporter for The Guardian. And we've been having a good time here, George, in these commercial breaks. My friends, my colleagues, my staff running in and out of the studio just talking about reflecting upon some of these Democratic votes. And so we're learning stuff. So it's sort of funny to me. I'm asking myself, how did I not recall, and I want to talk about this right quick before I go to Hakeem Jeffries, how did I not recall that all 47 Democrats at the time did, in fact, vote against Pete Hegseth? And I think part of the reason is that Democrats can be so spineless and so milquetoast some of the time that when they do show a spine, I forget about it. I forget when they do stand firm on something because they do it so infrequently. And here's the case in point. All 47 Democrats voted against Pete Hegseth, but you know who they all voted for, George? Marco Rubio.
Yeah.
And Marco Rubio is completely reckless. He wasn't as toxic at the time as Pete Hegseth was, but he's completely reckless and has been reckless as Secretary of State. But to your point, because they're chummy, buddy, they didn't give Pete Hegseth any love, but every one of them voted for Marco Rubio. It's just fascinating when you take some time to look back at the actual record, what you realize, looking back, about the ways these persons voted. And obviously voting matters. The record matters. But did you recall that all of them voted for Marco Rubio? I didn't.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
I'm not shocked. That
Yeah.
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
You're right. The clubby environment is real. And, sometimes that works.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yep. So I mentioned a moment ago that that Todd Blanche is in some hot water right now. My guess is, we'll see if I'm right or wrong about this. My guess is he gets through. I don't know that George and I feel altogether differently about that, but it's all said and done. Todd Blanche may be the Attorney General. But what is also true is, let me flip now from the Senate to the House. Hakeem Jeffries is going to be in some hot water, has been. Now, you've been hearing these chants in a variety of places about Hakeem Jeffries. You're next. You're next. You're next. You see the rise of these Democratic socialists in races all across the country, George. And in New York State, in New York City, where Hakeem resides, of course, he's getting some major pushback. He's going to be primaried and challenged in his own district, of course. And so Hakeem is in some trouble, and this issue of the Middle East is vexing for Hakeem. There have been all kinds of articles written about the support that Hakeem gets from this particular community. And again, we've all had more conversations than I can count about the way this issue of Palestine and genocide impacted Democrats, namely the Harris campaign, the last time around. So Hakeem Jeffries makes it abundantly clear yesterday on this contentious issue where Democrats do in fact have a split, that he will oppose a bid to cut off aid to Israel. I quote now from Hakeem Jeffries in his statement to his colleagues. In my view, there are more decisive ways to achieve the urgent change necessary when it comes to the far-right Netanyahu government. To begin with, America's commitment to Israel's right to exist as a Jewish and democratic state and homeland for the Jewish people must remain ironclad. There's much more, of course, in this letter to his colleagues. I ain't got time to read the whole thing. But Hakeem has drawn a line in the sand, and that line puts him at odds with members of his own caucus, but it certainly puts him at odds with a significant base of the Democratic Party. What does all this mean, George Chidi?
Well, it means that, like, a primary challenger probably should have stayed in the race last month.
Yep.
Let me start with this. Hakeem Jeffries accepted a $150,000 donation from AIPAC to his political action committee in May. And I've started to look around like, I don't think that's good money, in the sense of, I don't think that taking that money buys you what that money looks like. Mm-hmm. Because like, people are saying, like, who took AIPAC money as a reason to vote against someone right now? And that is more powerful than whatever that money can buy you. And yet there it is. Like AIPAC is backing him because he's backing them. And he's made a point to say he's not whipping the vote,
That's
which
right.
is to say he is not putting his leadership on the line and twisting arms to say you should vote the way I am voting, but here is what I think. You know, he's trying to give space to other Democrats who want to vote against this. But look, 60% of Americans have an unfavorable view of Israel, according to the last Pew report I saw. Mm-hmm. 75% of Democrats want to end military aid to Israel. And so he is on the wrong side of his party, and he's on the wrong side of public opinion. And I'm not even sure he's on the right side of his district right now. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter that he's in New York. I don't think New Yorkers want this either. Mm. I think he's on his way out.
Mm. Wow.
I think he will not be majority leader in a Democratic Congress moving forward, because I think that the weight of all of this and this demand for change that is rising from the Democratic electorate, I don't think he survives it.
So let me ask you point blank. Again, got you on the record here. So if Democrats are successful at taking back the House, for all the talk that we hear about Hakeem Jeffries making history as the first African-American Speaker of the House, and you're talking to a largely progressive audience of listeners all across the country, many of those persons look like me. They're African-American. And so there's history that could potentially be made if Democrats win back the House with Hakeem Jeffries again becoming the Speaker of the House. You're suggesting to me that you think this issue is putting him in such hot water that he might not become the Speaker of the House if Democrats win back the House?
I'm not saying that I'm not gonna say that they're gonna make AOC Speaker.
Right, I got you.
Like,
that we know that ain't gonna happen. But go ahead.
What I am saying is that I think they're gonna look for a more like a consensus candidate.
Right.
Like that isn't Jeffries, that doesn't have this baggage.
Right. What does this, to your mind, and I don't need to do any psychology on Hakeem Jeffries. I know him. He happens to be a fraternity brother of mine. What does this say to you about Hakeem Jeffries, that, as you laid out, that he could be on the wrong side of his caucus, on the wrong side of his party, on the wrong side of the American public, and on this particular issue, he's standing firm with Israel? What does that say to you about Hakeem Jeffries?
I want to say, so look, on other issues, I would be talking about JFK kind of profile and courage.
Right.
Like, this is, stand in the middle of the stream and make it move around you kind of thing.
Yep.
Leadership.
Right.
Except that there's no, what are you getting for that?
Yeah.
What are you getting for your district for that? What are you getting for the country for that? And I don't think we get anything out of it. I don't know what he gets out of it.
Yeah.
I think this is part of the reason why I don't think he survives as a speaker in a Democratic House. It's because this needs to be explained in ways that are not being explained, and because he didn't have a meaningful primary challenger, is not meeting a general election challenger, that matters. Then he never has to say, "Oh, well, this is why I'm doing this."
Yeah.
I read the letter, and it's not good enough.
Yeah.
The politics are stark.
Yeah. Well, I suggested earlier, and you better believe the next time around he will be primaried. That's the point I'm making. You're right that whoever wanted to primary him this last time around and pulled out is scratching their head today, like, why did I do that? But he will be primaried next time around, and these elections come sooner than you think when you're in the House. You only serve for 2 years, so the campaigning never stops. I was going to say it starts pretty immediately. Actually, it never stops when you're on the House side. I digress on that for now. Cornell West was here Monday on this program. He had a Lindsey Graham story. George Chidi has a Lindsey Graham story. I'll let him tell it when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
From California to the Carolinas, everybody's listening to Tavis. More when we come forward.
She's sharp. She's fearless.
I don't know what they told you, but if they told you that cutting me off is how I'm going to get clicks, stop it now.
She's that girl, and she's bringing all of that to your radio this summer. Amanda Seals is here.
I am Amanda Seals.
Comedian, artist, actress, activist, truth teller. The woman who never bites her tongue is coming to KBLA Talk 1580. And baby, the conversations are about to be unmatched. Every Friday, she's going to be lit noon to 2 p.m. and back again 4 to 6 p.m. Starting Friday, July 17th, only on KBLA Talk 1580. Amanda Seals, keeping it real, keeping it raw, and keeping it rooted. Politics, pop culture, black excellence, the stuff they don't want us talking about. Amanda's talking about all of it.
You keep interrupting me when I'm talking, and you don't want to hear the point that I'm going to make. And yet you want me to respect your point. And that's not how a debate works.
This is not your average radio show. This is a Seals Summer. Fridays, noon to 2, 4 to 6. Starting Friday, July 17th. Only on KBLA Talk 1580. Don't just listen. Tune in.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Can I touch this? Where does sand come from? Is this tree good for climbing? What happens if I mix these two things together? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Storing your guns securely is the best way to prevent family fire, including unintentional shootings. For more information on safe gun storage and ways to keep your family safe, visit endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org.
What do we keep in the attic? What's this thing called? Can I ride my bike backwards?
Like I said, kids are curious. It's up to us to keep them safe. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
You are indeed with George Chidi, politics and democracy reporter for The Guardian. Donald Trump says he is going to, in a primetime address tomorrow night, Thursday, discuss elections, what he's calling free and fair elections. So you know what you're going to get tomorrow night. There's nothing free or fair about the agenda that Donald Trump has with regard to our elections in this country. He wants to nationalize them. They've gutted the Voting Rights Act, yada, yada, yada. But he's giving a primetime address tomorrow night. Nonetheless, we'll let George comment on what we can expect, what he thinks we can expect from that address tomorrow night. That's the last topic I'll cover with George. Before I do that, my time is getting tight. George has a Lindsey Graham story. Share it right quick, George.
Well, just this. So my expectation had been that Joe Wilson, and Joe Wilson is a Republican and the congressman who shouted, "You lie," at President Obama during the State of the Union some 10, 15 years ago.
Yep.
He is the guy in the best position in South Carolina to succeed Graham, once they've had a primary to figure out whose name is going to be on the ballot in November. And that speaks to some degree to how South Carolina politics works. I cover the South. I write about politics in the South. And so from time to time, I need to be able to look at the world through a Republican's lens. It's useful. I don't recommend it, but it's useful. Whatever else is going on, Republicans in South Carolina care about having influence in Washington. And they are willing to put up with basically anything from whoever's in their Senate. They don't care who that person is, as long as they bring home the bacon and can move policy in a direction one way or another. That's why Lindsey Graham survived 30 years in the Senate, despite the fact that he frankly did a lot of things that people are like, "Why are you doing this? What is wrong with you? What is going on? That's Iran stuff. We don't want this." It's because he had influence. That is what they reward.
No, that's the irony. If George Chidi is right, that Joe Wilson ends up being the front runner in this race. I said yesterday, we shall see if his sister decides she wants to get in, unless she said something in the last 24 hours that I missed. Nobody's expecting her to get in, but something happens when you get that seat and get that power and that access. You change your mind and say, maybe I will throw my name in the hat to run for my brother's seat. Again, we'll see what happens there. But if he's right, that Joe Wilson, the guy that stood up and called Obama a liar in the middle of his major address, if that guy ends up being the front runner, it again says a whole lot about South Carolina and their politics, that this guy who disrespected Obama would be their nominee. I digress for now. We'll close this conversation with George Chidi talking about the big address that Donald Trump plans to make tomorrow night. You're listening to George Chidi, and I'm glad about it, on Tavis Smiley.
This is getting good. Yeah, man. Tavis Smiley continues when we come forward.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
You say you'd never give in to a meltdown. Never let kids' toys take over the house. And never fill your feed with kid photos. You'd never plan your life around their schedule. Never lick your thumb to clean their face. And you'd never let them leave the house looking like less than their best. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it. Never let them stay up too late. And never let them run wild through the grocery store.
Peanut on aisle 6 and aisle 3.
So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, no, it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-324-3030. That's 800-324-3030. Again, that's 800-324-3030.
And the top-rated African-American talk show host in the nation, according to Talkers Magazine. You're tapped in with Tavis Smiley right now.
Tavis Smiley and George Chidi, politics and democracy reporter for The Guardian U.S. All right, George, 2 minutes to go. I'll give it to you. Donald Trump is announcing a major speech, has announced a major speech, primetime address Thursday evening, where he says he wants to talk about free and fair elections. Those words coming out of his mouth are laughable. He knows nothing, cares nothing about free and fair elections, but that's the spin we're getting. What do we expect? What do you expect tomorrow night?
So I live in Georgia, and we are all kind of holding our breath here, because what we understand is that he is going to say that the 2020 election in Georgia was somehow illegitimate. Like, we've heard a bunch of different ways that might go down. Everything from, the vote was rigged, or I've literally heard somebody tell me that they think that he is going to say that Nicolás Maduro, the former dictator of Venezuela, somehow interfered in American elections, and that justifies whatever he wants to do with all of this. It's bonkers. One of the things we expect him to say is that John Ossoff, Senator Type 1 each from Georgia, was elected illegitimately. Ossoff is already messaging about this. I have to tell you, in Georgia, if Donald Trump is talking this way, he is more likely to hurt Republicans than help them, because that's how Ossoff got elected in 2021.
Yeah.
Donald Trump saying it's rigged and Republicans staying home. We're on Mars.
Yeah.
We're all taking crazy pills. This is nuts.
Yep. I'm already just trying to process what it means for the national news media to cover a primetime address tomorrow night where the president is going to make these kinds of outrageous claims. It's in the White House. He's in the White House, he's in the Oval Office, wherever he's going to be giving this primetime address tomorrow night. But from the White House, you have a sitting president in a primetime address where he's going to lie more times than we can count and make outrageous claims about the elections process in this country. So I think George is right. You got to brace for effects. But this stuff gets stranger and more bizarre by the day. The stuff that Donald Trump gets away with, the stuff that the media covers him saying, we shall see. But I think none of us are going to be surprised by the outrageousness that comes out of his mouth tomorrow night about elections in this country, elections that he wants to nationalize, no less. When he starts declaring unilaterally that certain elections were rigged and bogus, that's a real problem. But I digress for now. We'll come back to it after the address. George Chidi is politics and democracy reporter for The Guardian U.S. George, thank you so much, my friend, for your insights. Good to have you on. We'll do it again, sir.
Anytime.
Enjoy the rest of your day. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. White 19-year-old Lucas Roper in Dallas, Texas, has been arrested for evidence tampering in the drowning death of black 18-year-old Daniel Irving, whose body was found in Lake Ray Hubbard in April. Dominique Alexander with the Next Generation Action Network.
Tampering with the evidence charge is an outright disrespect to this family.
The victim's family is demanding murder charges, alleging the suspect tried to cover up the incident by deleting messages from Irving's phone. A black woman from California, 28-year-old Raizana Greenhoward, is facing murder and child abuse charges nearly 8 months after the death of her 2-year-old son in Lancaster. Investigators say the child suffered severe burns, and authorities are still working to determine exactly how he was injured. And Maryland's black Governor Wes Moore has approved an expansion of Baltimore's enterprise zone by 120 acres. State officials say the move is designed to spur economic growth. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Now at Big O, get happy with our Healthy Car Special. Includes a full synthetic oil change, 4-tire rotation, alignment check, brake, battery, and windshield wiper check. Plus, fluids topped off, all for only $59.99. Healthy car, happy life. Now at your local Big O Tires.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers begin the second half of the season Friday night in New York against the Yankees. The 3-game series with the Yankees is part of a 9-game road trip for the Dodgers on the East Coast. The road trip will be a good test for the Dodgers to maintain their stature as Major League Baseball's best team. Spain is in the World Cup championship match after their 2-0 win over France in the semifinals. Spain will meet the winner of today's semifinal between England and Argentina. The World Cup final is Sunday in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The WNBA would prefer folks not to talk about this, but I'm going to mention it anyway. 65% of WNBA players are African American, but none of the 15 teams in the WNBA have an African American woman as their head coach. 7 of the head coaches are white women, 8 are men. The WNBA needs to work on this issue. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Let me put my hard hat on, go back outside, and see if these procrastination Crenshaw construction crews have shown up yet. I'm saving space for grace, but if these trucks don't show up soon, well, you already know.
Destination Crenshaw, your time is up. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. KBLA Talk 1580 and Bethesda Temple Church invite residents, churches, businesses, and community leaders along the Crenshaw corridor to join a vitally important community conversation Thursday, July 30th, 6:30 p.m. at Bethesda Temple Church, 4909 Crenshaw Boulevard. For years now, this community has been living with unkept promises and the devastating effects of the unfinished Destination Crenshaw construction project, leaving residents, businesses, and churches to deal with myriad problems, including the loss of parking, restricted access, traffic congestion, and a lack of emergency vehicle access when it matters most. For years now, Procrastination Crenshaw has directly contributed to the loss of customer revenue for local black-owned businesses and, sadly, has forced the closure of some businesses along this 1.3-mile corridor. For years now, churches have been experiencing decreased attendance due to the elimination of parking, and social service programs for vulnerable fellow citizens have been altogether halted. For years now, residents have watched their quality of life erode, and nothing has been done about it. If they think they can get away with treating black folk like second-class citizens, they better think again.
You better think about what you're trying to do to me.
This town hall meeting is a reckoning, a public witness, an opportunity for impacted community members to share their experiences for the public record as we prepare to hold those responsible accountable for this enduring nightmare. So please join us Thursday, July 30th, 6:30 p.m. at Bethesda Temple Church, 4909 Crenshaw Boulevard. This town hall meeting is free and open to the public, but registration is required at KBLA1580.com. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley, and as always, we welcome your feedback.
There is no denying that we've always been the conscience of this country. KBLA Talk 1580 is progressive talk radio built for our community, by our community, and with hosts who look like you, live near you, and care about what you care about. 50,000 watts of truth right here in Southern California. KBLA Talk 1580. Listen live on your AM radio dial at 1580 or stream us live on our KBLA1580.com website or on our free KBLA 1580 app.
Unapologetically progressive.
It's the best of the Winans here on Tavis Smiley all 3 hours today. No, it's not June. In June, we choose a different artist of the day because June is Black Music Month. We choose a different artist of the day. We call it our artist in residence and play the best of their music all 3 hours of our show. We have a great time every June weaving in and out of conversations with great guests, playing the best of black music on the soundtrack of our lives. And we cover all the genres every June. So now we're in July now, but it turns out that today we've got some gospel music royalty coming live in studio. Carvin Winans of the Winans family comes live today in our third hour here in studio. And so we are just using that as a good excuse to play some of the best of the Winans all 3 hours of our program today. So Carvin Winans on the way here for our last and final hour today. What a spirited first hour. We thank George for that first hour, George Chidi. And we're moving in a moment here to Gilda Daniels. She is a law professor, legal analyst, author. And we invited her on to talk about yesterday's rare congressional testimony by not one but two Supreme Court justices. Elena Kagan and Coney Barrett made their way to the Hill yesterday and were questioned by members of Congress on a variety of subjects ranging from escalating threats to voter advocacy matters. It was the first appearance by members of the court before Congress in 7 years. I suggested in hour one that may be part of the problem. I said I'd hold my fire until we get to this hour. I say part of the problem because maybe members of the Supreme Court ought to be dragged on Capitol Hill, dragged up to Capitol Hill more often. They're getting away with so much nonsense in this court these days that maybe they need their feet to put to the fire more frequently. So that's what I meant when I suggested that maybe that's the problem. They ain't on Capitol Hill enough being grilled for their shenanigans inside the U.S. Supreme Court. Say nothing of the fact that it's time to reform this court anyway, and there are a number of ways to do that. We'll hold that conversation for another day. But maybe that's the problem. They don't get grilled enough on the Hill. I digress on that for now. So I'm going to talk to Gilda Daniels for the rest of the hour. When we come forward, I am going to play for you a clip of some sound yesterday on the Hill, namely Representative Rosa DeLauro Democrat of Connecticut, the top Democrat on the House Appropriations Committee. She pressed the justices yesterday on ethical issues, and we know that the Supreme Court does have 99 problems, and one of them is ethics. And so we're going to talk about that with Gilda Daniels once we play this clip. So it's going to be a great hour, just sort of dissecting this rare occurrence where members of the U.S. Supreme Court end up being questioned on Capitol Hill. We'll talk about it when we come forward here on Tavis Smiley.
Don't deserve for you to stay. Don't leave me. What I done, you should have been gone far away. Don't leave me. Give me one more chance, I pray. Give me the last time. Never have a made up. Never have a made up mind. Don't leave me.
Generous listening.
Charitable listening.
It's why everybody wants to talk to Tavis. The conversation continues when we come forward.
My name is Ariel. When I arrived in the U.S. at 19, I struggled to find job opportunities without my high school diploma. My entire life changed when I took a chance and got my high school diploma at age 22. Everything I have, my education, my career, my marriage, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and my teachers. They were with me every step of the way, helping with my English and math, making sure I pushed through all the challenges.
Ariel, your success proves that what I'm doing as a teacher has real meaning.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
There is no denying that we've always been the conscience of this country. KBLA Talk 1580 is progressive talk radio built for our community, by our community, and with hosts who look like you, live near you, and care about what you care about. 50,000 watts of truth right here in Southern California. KBLA Talk 1580. Listen live on your AM radio dial at 1580 or stream us live on our KBLA1580.com website or on our free KBLA 1580 app.
Unapologetically progressive.
Oh no. Straight the roof down.
I don't know if we have time.
Please, God, save us. Save our house. Please, God, please.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we haven't forgotten what happened Tuesday, January 7th, 2025.
The trauma, processing the loss of our home. How do we address the compounding effect of the fire now more than 18 months later? I noticed one of my 3 children engaged in self-harm who hasn't been able to articulate the challenges that they've had since the fire. And 4 out of the 5 folks in our household are in therapy. 1 is not. And the one that's not is the one who I noticed with some marks on their person. This isn't okay. You need to talk to someone.
Black historical memory keeps alive the stories and struggles of everyday people and communities. Black historical memory preserves truths that others attempt to erase, minimize, or distort. Black historical memory prevents history from repeating its worst chapters. At KBLA Talk 1580, we will never forget. Tune into Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr, weekends on KBLA Talk 1580. 1580.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Yo, what's up? I'ma kick it with the lines, y'all know. Yo, Slim, can I kick it like this? Here we go. Well, it's time to make that change. People of the world today are fading. All of us have our ups and downs. You better think about it or you won't be around. What we need is a little bit of love, sent by one from heaven up above. Chicken for tea is simple and plain. This ain't no game, you know what I'm saying? What? Yep, yep. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Yo, Mob, kick it for me one time.
What is the world coming to? Seems like everyone is running from the truth.
It's the best of the Winans. All 3 hours of our show today. Carvin Winans comes live in studio about 45 minutes from now. Top of our third and final hour for a career conversation about being a member of this amazing gospel royalty family. And Carvin's got a new project out. We'll talk about that. So today we're playing some of the best of the Winans. All 3 hours of our show in anticipation of Carvin Winans joining us live today again in our third and final hour. That's Teddy Riley with the Winans. I ain't got to that Anita Baker track yet, Miles. We got to play that one, man. Ain't no need to worry with Anita Baker. We'll get that in too. But some of the best of the Winans, all 3 hours of our show today. Again, Carvin Winans joins us live in studio in our final hour. Gilda Daniels is here, law professor, legal analyst, author, and we invited her on because it was rare yesterday to see not one but two members of the Supreme Court on Capitol Hill being pressed on a variety of subject matter. Now, they were ostensibly there to ask for more money. They went to Congress to ask for more funding, specifically to boost their security funding. Elena Kagan and Coney Barrett were complaining to Congress yesterday, testifying in front of Congress, that their lives are in danger, that they are under threat, and the threats are getting very, very close. And so they're asking for more money, primarily to protect their lives. Kind of reminds you of these healthcare CEOs who are running around scared of their lives after what happened to the CEO in broad daylight in Times Square. United Healthcare, as I recall, it was his company. But was that United Healthcare? Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just checking my memory today. I don't want to make another mistake in this hour. But anyway, yeah. So these healthcare CEOs are running scared, and apparently so are Supreme Court justices. And nobody, this is not, we don't believe in vigilantism. No question about that. But the fact that they're on Capitol Hill begging for more money to protect their lives makes a statement about the country and about the way this court is regarded or not regarded. Perhaps not unlike healthcare CEOs, but I digress on that for now. Here's some sound of Rosa DeLauro, the top Democrat on the House Appropriations Committee, with her assessment of this particular moment and what the Supreme Court is asking Congress to do to aid and abet it with these security challenges. Take a listen.
Is this a time to make this a requirement instead of a suggestion? That's my first question.
You want me to do gifts? I can do. Ranking Member DeLauro, I would be happy to address the question about gifts. The court follows the restrictions of the Judicial Conference of the United States applicable to all judges with respect to gifts, and we are not. There are restrictions on our ability to accept gifts. We're not permitted to accept gifts with, some nuances and some exceptions from litigants before the court. Mm-hmm. And any gifts that we do accept, this is by statute. There's a statutory limit on reporting that requires reporting of any gift. I think that the limit is about $500 right now. You would know they would be on our financial disclosures because we have to disclose that. So with respect to gifts, we do have constraints, and we do have our in-house counsel. I mean, anytime I have any question about how the code applies to a particular circumstance, I always call him. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did you want to address enforceability?
On the code of conduct, as you noted, we the 9 justices all agreed to a code of conduct. It's specifically geared towards the Supreme Court. As you also noted, there is a question about enforceability, and right now the mechanism has no enforceability system. And this is something on which various people have spoken in the past, and I've made my views known in the past, which is that I think we should work hard to try to figure out some enforcement system. I will say that that's an extremely difficult question for a pretty obvious reason, I think, which is that I don't think that you would want an enforcement system that was controlled by the executive branch or by the legislature. And this is because of what you said in your opening statement about the importance of judicial independence. Right. You don't want a president picking an inspector general to decide which of us is breaking the rules or how we're breaking the rules. So I think it really has to come from within the judiciary, and that's hard because, we sit at the top of the Judiciary Committee, so it's hard to figure out how to have a system that makes use of judicial resources to police us. So
you heard 3 voices there. The first was Representative DeLauro with her question. The first voice you heard was, the second voice you heard was Amy Coney Barrett, and the third voice, of course, Elena Kagan. By now, you probably know these voices when you hear them, whether you can see their faces on radio or not. There's a lot to talk to Gilda Daniels about in this hour. We're going to get to Donald Trump ousting the remaining members of the Election Assistance Commission ahead of the midterms. We'll get to Donald Trump's speech tomorrow night on what he's calling free and fair elections. That speech coming tomorrow night. But I wanted to start with this, with Gilda Daniels, because, again, it's such a rare situation for us to see two Supreme Court justices being questioned, being queried on the Hill. But what's remarkable, Gilda, about that clip, there are a number of things that I find remarkable about it, but this is your conversation, not mine. But you hear Elena Kagan acknowledge that there is a code of conduct. Now, it is as weak as pre-sweetened Kool-Aid, but they do have a code of conduct, and even she acknowledges that the code of conduct has no enforceability. The Supreme Court's got some ethics issues, and again, to hear a sitting member of the court acknowledge that they got a code of conduct, but it's so weak that it has no enforceability elements attached to it, it's just mind-boggling, given all the stories we've heard about Alito and Thomas, et cetera, just out of control when it comes to the issue of conduct. I digress for now. Let's start there. The mic is yours, Gilda. Good to have you on the program.
Glad to be here. It is amazing, and the fact that Judge Kagan would suggest that self-enforcement is the way to go is also a bit confusing. I was a deputy chief in the Civil Rights Division voting section at the Department of Justice, and we had constraints. We couldn't accept anything more than, I think, $25 and so to have those constraints on federal employees and for the justices to believe that they should be able to self-enforce is I'm trying to think of a good word, Tavis, and one that I can say on the radio. But I'm at a loss. So certainly there needs to be a code of conduct, and there certainly needs to be some ethical restraints, because currently there are none. And we've seen the justices, as well as we can point to the executive branch as well, and the way that people, certainly the elected officials, as well as persons in the executive branch, are enriching themselves and while also having constraints on federal employees and others. We have rules that we have to certainly play by, but they seem not to, or ignore the rules. A great attorney, Thomas and Todd, said, we play the game, they write the rules, we win the game, they change the rules. And so here they don't even have any rules. But we are seeing with the executive that they're ignoring the rules and certainly changing the rules.
I think it would be laughable if this weren't so serious. I'm with you, Gilda. It'd be laughable if it weren't so serious that Elena Kagan suggests that they can self-enforce. I mean, if they could self-enforce, we wouldn't have the problems that we know with regard to Clarence Thomas. We wouldn't have these problems with Alito and others if they could self-enforce. So why wasn't there? I heard more of this audio than I had a chance to play for the audience, but there was no laughter in that room at Elena Kagan when she said that. There was no real pushback, as I recall, when Elena Kagan made that point. My point is that there seems to be so much deference to this court, even though we know they are out of control. And again, for members of Congress, and again, to your point about working at DOJ, members of Congress have more constraints. They've got a stronger code of conduct. They've got stronger ethics rules that if they violate, they get in trouble. It almost happens so often, too often, in fact, that we see members of Congress being called in front of the Ethics Commission. We see them being kicked out of Congress. I mean, over the last few months, look at the number of congresspersons who have been pushed out of Congress because of their ethics violations. I can start with Eric Swalwell here in California, where I sit and run across the country. So they end up being pushed out. And so they have some oversight over Supreme Court, but this institution over which they have some oversight comes to them asking for more money. We'll get to the issue of security in just a second here. They have some oversight here, and when Elena Kagan suggests we can self-enforce, there was no real pushback on that lunacy.
Well, I think that also demonstrates the strength, or certainly the weakness, of Congress.
Right.
There needs to be, the courts are doing their jobs, right? The job is for them to adjudicate matters that come before it. And they're certainly doing that. Congress, however, is not doing its job in regards to creating that, because reforms are needed.
Right.
And because the courts have a lifetime appointment, these justices have lifetime appointments as opposed to persons in Congress that have to be elected every 2 years or every 6 years, they certainly do have more restrictions. But we're forgetting they're equal branches of government. We need, I think this administration is certainly giving us a basic civics lesson in how in what the Constitution says, and certainly how government is supposed to work, in that these are equal branches of government, that the legislative branch can certainly have some oversight in regards to certainly what the justices are doing, and justices are certainly having oversight over what Congress is doing, as well as the executive.
So, as I said earlier, they were Elena Kagan and Coney Barrett, Supreme Court justices, were on Capitol Hill ostensibly in this hearing to ask for more money for the court. And they were asking for more money primarily for security expenses. Kagan told the lawmakers that the recent increases in the court's budget have been almost entirely, those are her two words, almost entirely for security expenses since the Supreme Court's in-house police force took over residential security for the justices from the U.S. Marshal Service. So they're protected, of course, on the Hill where the Supreme Court sits, but they're also protected at home. So they've got pretty much round-the-clock security. These Supreme Court justices, it used to be done by the U.S. Marshal Service. Now the Supreme Court's in-house police force has taken over security for these justices. I quote now from Elena Kagan: "For some of us, those threats have come very close, and all of us live with the knowledge that they may again materialize. But as the Chief Justice has said, all members of the court continue to do their jobs as they believe legally right, adjudicating cases without fear or favor," close quote. That's Elena Kagan trying to explain why they need more money for security and that they're trying to do their jobs without fear or favor, even though these threats are coming very, very close. I mentioned earlier Gilda Daniels, the CEO of United Healthcare, who was gunned down in broad daylight in Manhattan, of all places. And as you may recall, and I'm not amening this or applauding this, but the commentary on social media from everyday fellow citizens was clear. There was not a whole lot of empathy and not a whole lot of sympathy for this CEO. And again, nobody's endorsing vigilantism, but it's abundantly clear how the American people feel about these CEOs. I could point to data as well that shows how we feel about these Supreme Court justices. Nobody's calling for harm for them, but it is in part the way they are showing up, the way they're moving, the way they're advancing laws that shrink rights as opposed to expanding rights. Don't get me started, but there's a reason why they're under threat, why people are sick and tired of being sick and tired of the decisions that they're rendering every June and in between. But your thoughts about the fact that they feel so under threat for their lives that they're asking for more money?
Well, Tavis, I think it's interesting, and I'm going to push back just a little.
Sure,
I think it's interesting that it's the women on the court who are going before Congress to ask for more funds for security. Mm-hmm. I think that speaks to they certainly feel insecure, right? And that Thomas, Alito, Kavanaugh, and the others are not asking for. I don't know if they were asking on behalf of others, but I thought it was interesting that it was just the two of the female members of the. But they were Supreme Court
just for the record, they were asking for money for the court overall. So it's not just the two of them. They were the two representatives who were sent to the Hill, but they're asking for budgetary increases for all 9 justices.
Right, I understand that, but I think that it's a strategy point.
I got you.
I think it's strategic that it was the women as opposed to the men asking for the funds. And I would dare say that I'd have no facts to support this, but I would dare say Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson is probably receiving a large number of threats, right, such that security is needed. So I get that the public would, looking at the Supreme Court justices, and based on certainly the decisions they've made over the last few years, saying, that your security, we're more concerned about other issues, the way you're rendering these decisions, as opposed to certainly your security.
No, I hear the point you're making. It's a good point, but I think you'll acknowledge that your strategic is somebody else's slick. What you call strategy, sitting these women up there, somebody else would call slick seeing these women up there. But I take the point, and I hear your point about KBJ as well. You think about Barack Obama. I mean, we'll never know these things. This ain't the kind of data they put out publicly. But for all the assassination attempts against Donald Trump, I still got Barack Obama getting more threats overall. Again, they don't give us this data, but you ain't gonna make me believe that Donald Trump has gotten more death threats than Barack Obama did, the attempts notwithstanding. And I think you're probably right about KBJ. I'm sure she's catching as much as anybody else sitting on that court. I digress for now. So much more to cover with Gilda Daniels when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Why does Tavis say when we come forward? Because he's not going back. And you don't have to go back either. Forward ever, backward never. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. White 19-year-old Lucas Roper in Dallas, Texas, has been arrested for evidence tampering in the drowning death of black 18-year-old Daniel Irving, whose body was found in Lake Ray Hubbard in April. Dominique Alexander with the Next Generation Action Network.
Tampering with the evidence charge is an outright disrespect to this family.
The victim's family is demanding murder charges, alleging the suspect tried to cover up the incident by deleting messages from Irving's phone. A black woman from California, 28-year-old Raizana Greenhoward, is facing murder and child abuse charges nearly 8 months after the death of her 2-year-old son in Lancaster. Investigators say the child suffered severe burns, and authorities are still working to determine exactly how he was injured. And Maryland's black Governor Wes Moore has approved an expansion of Baltimore's enterprise zone by 120 acres. State officials say the move is designed to spur economic growth. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Now at Big O, get happy with our Healthy Car Special. Includes a full synthetic oil change, 4-tire rotation, alignment check, brake, battery, and windshield wiper check. Plus, fluids topped off, all for only $59.99. Healthy car, happy life. Now at your local Big O Tires.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers begin the second half of the season Friday night in New York against the Yankees. The 3-game series with the Yankees is part of a 9-game road trip for the Dodgers on the East Coast. The road trip will be a good test for the Dodgers to maintain their stature as Major League Baseball's best team. Spain is in the World Cup championship match after their 2-0 win over France in the semifinals. Spain will meet the winner of today's semifinal between England and Argentina. The World Cup final is Sunday in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The WNBA would prefer folks not to talk about this, but I'm going to mention it anyway. 65% of WNBA players are African American, but none of the 15 teams in the WNBA have an African American woman as their head coach. 7 of the head coaches are white women, 8 are men. The WNBA needs to work on this issue. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
July is Disability Pride Month, a time to celebrate identity, individuality, and inclusion. Pride means showing up as your full, authentic self without apology. Let's celebrate what makes every one of us unique. Easter Seals Disability Services honors Disability Pride Month. Learn more at socal.easterseals.com.
At concerts, we dance to the same tune. At games, we hug total strangers. At marathons, we hand water to people we'll never see again. We pull over to help. We stop for someone who's fallen. We give. We step up. We show up. And yet, in these moments, there's also something we don't do. We don't act based on how they look, who they love, where they're from, or what they believe. We just act. Because the things that make us different will never change what makes us human. Go to lovehasnolabels.com to learn more. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
This November, you'll decide who leads California. So shouldn't you hear directly from the people asking for your vote? Join us for California Voices, a political town hall and ballot forum, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026. Meet candidates running for governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, and other major statewide and local offices, including mayor of Los Angeles, city attorney, and LA County sheriff. Get clear, nonpartisan breakdowns of the propositions on your November ballot, both sides, no spin. And ask your questions directly, in real conversation, face to face. California Voices is brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the Empowerment Congress, giving you the information you need before you vote. Mark your calendar, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026, California Voices. Follow KBLA 1580 for details and download the KBLA 1580 app. Your vote, your voice. Be there.
Less monologue, more dialogue. Tavis Smiley continues right now.
More of the best of the Winans, all 3 hours of our program today. Carvin Winans, one of the members of the Winans group, the Winans family, comes live in studio in about 20 minutes, top of the third and final hour today. Gospel music royalty are the Winans family, or is the Winans family. And I look forward to Carvin Winans, twin brother of Marvin, joining us in our third and final hour. He's got some new music out on a solo tip, but just a career conversation by being a part of this amazing family. And all the music, the Winans, brothers, BB and CC, Angie and Debbie and Daniel, and the whole family, moms and pops. So much great music on the soundtrack of our lives, courtesy of this one family out of Detroit, Michigan. So we'll talk to Carvin Winans today in our third hour. So some of the best of their soundtrack we've been playing, the better part of 3 hours. We played Teddy Riley track, It's Time, a while ago. And there, of course, you have, speaking of Detroit, Anita Baker. Ain't no need to worry what tomorrow's going to bring. It'll be all over in the morning. Our guest in this hour is Gilda Daniels, law professor, legal analyst, author of a book called Uncounted, The Crisis of Voter Suppression in America. So we invited her on for two reasons. One, because we're kind of bookending this. So yesterday, in case you've just tuned in, we saw a rare appearance by not one but two Supreme Court justices on the Hill being questioned by members of Congress about a variety of things. Elena Kagan and Coney Barrett made their way to the Hill yesterday. And then tomorrow night, Donald Trump is set to give a primetime address about what he's calling free and fair elections. So you see why I wanted Gilda on today to sort of do a post-mortem on what happened on the Hill yesterday and a preview of what we can expect from Donald Trump, the lies we can expect from Donald Trump come tomorrow night when he gives this speech in prime time. Let me, before I even get to that speech, though, go here first, Gilda, and I'm glad to have you on again. Her book is called Uncounted, The Crisis of Voter Suppression in America. And to my mind, Donald Trump has leaned in on this issue as much as any other. He has done everything he can do, and we're going to get, I'm sure, more from him tomorrow night about what he intends to do next. To just lay in even harder on this issue of voter suppression in this country. We call it voter suppression. He calls it free and fair elections. I'll let Gilda sound off on that in a second. But Trump, as you know, recently, Gilda, ousted the remaining members of the Election Assistance Commission ahead of the midterms, which plays once again into his notion of wanting to nationalize elections. I don't need to color this much more for you, but just talk to me broadly about this decision that Trump made, broadly about the crisis of voter suppression as he has made it worse, and then we'll jump to the speech tomorrow night a little bit later. The mic is yours.
I don't think we have enough time, Tavis, to
let's
talk about the lies that we can anticipate on tomorrow.
Yeah.
But in regards to voter suppression and certainly the president's constant and ongoing efforts to impact certainly elections. Again, I think I don't know if we have enough time because he's issued a number of executive orders that have no weight whatsoever because the executive it does not have any responsibility or authority when it comes to elections. His idea of federalizing elections or nationalizing elections, I think in years past there were certainly scholars and as well as other election officials who may have agreed with that approach, but not with this administration, right? I think the way that he's tried to impact certainly the way that votes are counted or whether votes are counted, particularly his focus on mail ballots, even though he's a person who takes advantage of casting a ballot by mail in Florida, but not wanting to have that option available to citizens, and as well as his getting firing the members of the Election Assistance Commission, his push for the SAVE Act and others. Again, it's one effort after another to try to impact the way elections are run, where the executive has absolutely no authority when it comes to running elections. Yeah. That power is in the states.
Yeah,
it's under the Constitution.
The executive has no power, but Donald Trump, along with help from the Supreme Court gutting the Voting Rights Act, is doing some damage. He's doing some damage to free and fair elections in this country, is he not?
Absolutely. And I think when we're looking at the mid-decade redistricting, which started more than a year ago, he's using his influence is in the position of President of the United States as well as the power of the purse. Certainly threatening states, saying that they won't receive certain funds if they don't do certain things. And certainly when you have this whole red states, blue states dynamic where he can say to the governor of Texas, find me 2 more seats. And then they go about holding a special legislative session to draw 2 more seats. Again, so the president can say a number of things. The problem is when Congress doesn't respond. For example, I know we're talking about the Calais decision and other decisions from the Supreme Court and how it's still an opportunity for Congress to respond, or when we see him saying things like, find me 2 seats to the state of Texas, and the state of Texas says, oh, yes, of course. And the state, but it's still the state that's doing that's making the changes. It's still the state that's doing the redistricting. While he's saying a lot of things, and I think chaos, confusion, and just exhaustion is the point. Him actually having the power to do these things does not exist, but certainly his influence in the ways in which these states are responding is problematic.
When we come forward, I want to ask Gilda directly, no naivete here, as I often say, but I want to ask her directly why she believes that Donald Trump has put our electoral process in his crosshairs. Is it just personal because he still believes he won the election that he lost? Or is it politics, or is it both, or am I missing something here? Again, no naivete here, but I'm just curious to get her take as a law professor, as a legal analyst, as an author of this book, Uncounted, The Crisis of Voter Suppression in America. Why Donald Trump? There are all kinds of issues he could go after, and trust me, he's got a lot of issues on his docket. But why is the electoral process in Donald Trump's crosshairs? And then we'll talk about this speech he's giving tomorrow night. You're listening to Gilda Daniels on Tavis, Smiley, as we celebrate the Winans on our program today.
Whatever right I pay, did the Lord not say, what will it give me? Did the Lord not say, he would take us away in our labor? Oh, it's gonna give me power. Oh, yes.
This show was built for you, for the community, for the culture, for everyone who wants more than headlines, for everyone who wants meaning. Tavis Smiley has always believed that public media can change lives, and every single day, that's what he comes to work to do. You're listening to Tavis Smiley, your voice, your issues, your show.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor, and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
She's sharp. She's fearless. I don't know what they told you, but if they told you that cutting me off is how we're going to get clicks, stop it now. She's that girl, and she's bringing all of that to your radio this summer. Amanda Seales is here. I am Amanda Seales. Comedian, artist, actress, activist, truth teller. The woman who never bites her tongue is coming to KBLA Talk 1580. And baby, the conversations are about to be unmatched. Every Friday, she's going to be lit noon to 2 p.m. and back again 4 to 6 p.m. starting Friday, July 17th. Only on KBLA Talk 1580. Amanda Seales, keeping it real, keeping it raw, and keeping it rooted. Politics, pop culture, black excellence, the stuff they don't want us talking about. Amanda's talking about all of it. You keep interrupting me when I'm talking, and you don't want to hear the point that I'm going to make. And yet you want me to respect your point. And that's not how a debate works. This is not your average radio show. This is a Seales Summer. Fridays, noon to 2, 4 to 6. Starting Friday, July 17th. Only on KBLA Talk 1580. Don't just listen. Tune in.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Can I touch this? Where does sand come from? Is this tree good for climbing? What happens if I mix these two things together? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Storing your guns securely is the best way to prevent family fire, including unintentional shootings. For more information on safe gun storage and ways to keep your family safe, visit endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org.
What do we keep in the attic? What's this thing called? Can I ride my bike backwards?
Like I said, kids are curious. It's up to us to keep them safe. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
More honesty than you can handle. More empowerment than you can imagine. You're tuned in to Tavis Smiley.
As we said earlier, Donald Trump is doing everything he can to make voter suppression all the worse in this country. Leaning in a variety of ways. He's getting help from the Supreme Court, gutting voting rights as we know it. And so we are bracing for effects because tomorrow night he has promised a primetime address addressing what he calls free and fair elections. I suspect the speech will be anything but that. But that's my assessment. What does Gilda Daniels have to say about this speech tomorrow night?
Is this where I need to give my disclaimer that the views expressed are solely those of
Gilda Daniels? I got you.
Tavis.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the focus, you asked why is he so focused on elections and election security is power. And they're anticipating, he and they are anticipating that they could essentially lose power in this midterm election, lose the House and possibly the Senate. And that would mean that there would be oversight, hopefully, right, if we elect people who would actually represent views of the persons who elects them, that there could be some oversight over departments like the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Justice, right, and others, FBI and others, where they'll be called into Congress to answer questions. As well as his enrichment would also be called into question. So I think it's about power, and I think it's also, I know it's about power and trying to figure out how he can maintain it, but it's also, I think it's a bigger attempt to create a distraction so that people can talk about and wonder about what is he going to say, and particularly if he's going to talk about the 2020 election. So what's the point?
Yeah.
Right. It's a number of conspiracy theories and that have been debunked. Well, he's filed more than 60 lawsuits challenging the 2020 election, and they all failed. They lost all of the elections because they were questioning election security. Elections are secure.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the states that are certainly that handle elections, and Republican as well as Democratic Secretary of States who administer elections and electoral process have consistently said that we have free and fair elections. Now, we also have laws that make it harder for people to access the right to vote.
Yep.
In regards, and what this administration wants to do is to make it even harder by making it harder for people to request a mail-in ballot, to receive the mail-in ballot, and to cast a mail-in ballot. They also want documentary proof of citizenship. They want you to have a passport, military ID, or some other government-issued ID in order to actually register or to stay on the voter roll. So they are making it harder, and I think that's also a part of the process.
Yeah, I think there are a couple of things we can expect tomorrow night pretty clearly. One, he's going to lean heavily on this SAVE Act. That's what Gilda is basically detailing for you right now, the specifics in that SAVE Act. He's going to lean heavily on that tomorrow night in this speech. He's going to go after Georgia. I'm told, we had a guest on earlier today. They're bracing for effects in Georgia. That he ain't got over that yet, and so he's going to somehow declare that the results in Georgia in 2020 were unfair, unjust, erroneous, and inaccurate. So we're going to see where he goes tomorrow night, but those are two things I think you can expect on the docket tomorrow night. At the end of the day, Donald Trump is offering solutions that are chasing problems. There is no problem here. As Gilda just said, we have free and fair elections, but he's offering solutions in search of real problems. I digress for now. Our remaining moments with Gilda Daniels when we come forward here on Tavis Smiley.
In a world full of noise, one voice cuts through. Tavis Smiley has never backed down from the hard questions, never shied away from speaking truth to power and to the powerless, and he's not about to start now. This is the show people talk about, the one your co-workers quote, the one that gets under your skin in the best way. Tavis Smiley, nationally syndicated, unapologetically progressive, unapologetically real.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is connecting you with services and solutions. Domestic violence and family violence is when someone in an intimate or family relationship tries to gain or maintain power and control over another through a wide range of abusive behaviors. Every single act may amount to abuse. Abuse can take on various forms: psychological and emotional, physical and economic, and sexual abuse. The Genesee Center Incorporated is a nationally recognized nonprofit domestic violence prevention and intervention organization, housing women and children from 30 days up to 2 years through emergency and transitional shelters. The Genesee Center also provides support services like mental health counseling, life skills classes, computer training, job referrals, after-school programs for children, field trips, tutoring, and comprehensive direct legal services. If you need help or you'd like to donate or volunteer, call the Genesee Hotline, 1-800-479-7328. That's 1-800-479-7328, or visit genesee.org. Everyone has the right to be safe. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Helping to make you the most knowledgeable person in your circle of friends. This is Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Gilda Daniels for the next minute here. Very quickly, Trump says he'll discuss elections and voting machines in a major speech tomorrow night. He says he has a really, really big announcement, big announcement, he says. But he's intensifying his focus on election security roughly 4 months before the midterm elections. In less than 60 seconds here, Gilda, I expect this is going to get far worse before it gets better. He's doing this right now for an obvious reason in advance of these midterms.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, people listen with the, or I was going to say, listen with their third eye. That this, the words that are coming out of his mouth, and just know that they mean something different. Maybe he's broadcasting to, red states or something. I don't know, but I don't think it's useless.
Nope, I think you used the right word earlier. I asked Gilda, why is our electoral process in Donald Trump's crosshairs? And in a word, she said power, and that's the answer. Power. That's why he's intensifying his focus on these issues in advance of the midterms. It's all about power. Gilda Daniels, law professor, legal analyst, author of Uncounted, The Crisis of Voter Suppression in America. Thank you for your insights. A blessing to have had you on this program. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, sir.
We're pushing toward our third and final hour. We've been playing the best of the Winans all 3 hours today. Carvin Winans joins us live in studio when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
And Jesus Christ, the one that saved me. Jesus Christ, the one that raised me. Jesus Christ.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. White 19-year-old Lucas Roper in Dallas, Texas, has been arrested for evidence tampering in the drowning death of black 18-year-old Daniel Irving, whose body was found in Lake Ray Hubbard in April. Dominique Alexander with the Next Generation Action Network.
Tampering with the evidence charge is an outright disrespect to this family.
The victim's family is demanding murder charges, alleging the suspect tried to cover up the incident by deleting messages from Irving's phone. A black woman from California, 28-year-old Raysana Greenhoward, is facing murder and child abuse charges nearly 8 months after the death of her 2-year-old son in Lancaster. Investigators say the child suffered severe burns, and authorities are still working to determine exactly how he was injured. And Maryland's black Governor Wes Moore has approved an expansion of Baltimore's enterprise zone by 120 acres. State officials say the move is designed to spur economic growth. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Now at Big O, get happy with our Healthy Car Special. Includes a full synthetic oil change, 4-tire rotation, alignment check, brake, battery, and windshield wiper check. Plus, fluids topped off, all for only $59.99. Healthy car, happy life. Now at your local Big O Tires.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers begin the second half of the season Friday night in New York against the Yankees. The 3-game series with the Yankees is part of a 9-game road trip for the Dodgers on the East Coast. The road trip will be a good test for the Dodgers to maintain their stature as Major League Baseball's best team. Spain is in the World Cup championship match after their 2-0 win over France in the semifinals. Spain will meet the winner of today's semifinal between England and Argentina. The World Cup final is Sunday in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The WNBA would prefer folks not to talk about this, but I'm going to mention it anyway. 65% of WNBA players are African American, but none of the 15 teams in the WNBA have an African American woman as their head coach. 7 of the head coaches are white women, 8 are men. The WNBA needs to work on this issue. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Let me put my hard hat on, go back outside, and see if these procrastination Crenshaw construction crews have shown up yet. I'm saving space for grace, but if these trucks don't show up soon, well, you already know.
Destination Crenshaw, your time is up. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. KBLA Talk 1580 and Bethesda Temple Church invite residents, churches, businesses, and community leaders along the Crenshaw corridor to join a vitally important community conversation Thursday, July 30th, 6:30 p.m. at Bethesda Temple Church, 4909 Crenshaw Boulevard. For years now, this community has been living with unkept promises and the devastating effects of the unfinished Destination Crenshaw construction project, leaving residents, businesses, and churches to deal with myriad problems, including the loss of parking, restricted access, traffic congestion, and a lack of emergency vehicle access when it matters most. For years now, Procrastination Crenshaw has directly contributed to the loss of customer revenue for local black-owned businesses and, sadly, has forced the closure of some businesses along this 1.3-mile corridor. For years now, churches have been experiencing decreased attendance due to the elimination of parking, and social service programs for vulnerable fellow citizens have been altogether halted. For years now, residents have watched their quality of life erode, and nothing has been done about it. If they think they can get away with treating black folk like second-class citizens, they better think again.
You better think about what you're trying to do to me.
This town hall meeting is a reckoning, a public witness, an opportunity for impacted community members to share their experiences for the public record as we prepare to hold those responsible accountable for this enduring nightmare. So please join us Thursday, July 30th, 6:30 p.m. at Bethesda Temple Church, 4909 Crenshaw Boulevard. This town hall meeting is free and open to the public, but registration is required at KBLA1580.com. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley, And as always, we welcome your feedback.
Question is, will I ever leave you? The answer is no, 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 no. Question is, will I ever leave you? The answer is no. I love the Lord, He's so dear to me. And oh, He died that I might be free. I was asked this question years ago, and the answer is still no. Now the question is, will I do His will? And the answer is yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I was at a home late one night. The Lord asked me would I do His will, and I told Him yeah. I said, yeah, yeah, oh, yeah.
I'm Tavis Smiley. He is Carvin Winans. He's in studio as I promised you he would be. We've been playing all 3 hours today, the best of the Winans, and they got quite a catalog. They are on the soundtrack of our lives, not just the Winans, but BB and Cece and Angie and Debbie and Daniel, and then the next generation of Winans. So Mom and Pops. So many great hits out of this one family. I call them gospel music royalty. Indeed, they are. But the first ones out the block were the four brothers, Carvin and Marvin and Michael and Ronald. They were the ones that broke the Winans family, and then all the rest of the family comes out with projects year after year. I was just reading Cece about to go on tour again. BB's always busy. Marvin's always writing and pastoring his church. I mean, this family stays busy. But I can't imagine the soundtrack of my life without the Winans on it. Carvin's got some solo stuff we'll talk about later in this hour. But this is the song that broke the Winans. It's not the original version. They did it. They did a second take at it. We'll put it that way. Tell me about this particular version. But this is the song. The question is that made all of us ask, who are these Winans out of Detroit?
You know, before I get there,
sure.
When Andre signed us, we came to L.A.
Andre would be Andre Crouch.
Yeah, Andre Crouch.
We just dropping names here. Every Andre
Crouch. I'm gonna make sure y'all know what it is.
Go ahead.
But when he signed us, he had us come. When we came out to record, right? We went to his father's church, and we sang a couple songs. Question is, wasn't in it. And so we got a standing ovation. So they want us to do one more. So Marvin looks at me and says, "What should we do? What should we do?" I said, "Man, do the question is." You know. We did the question is. Andre lost it. He said, "Y'all didn't even send that in to be on the album. That's gonna be recorded on the album, you know." And then the rest was history.
Turn it up, Miles. Turn it up. Turn it up. Tell me how you all came to the attention of Andre Crouch.
There was a young man by the name of Howard Smith. Now, when we were in Detroit, we were called the Testimonial Singers, not the Winans. So it was
called what?
The Testimonial Singers.
The Testimonial Singers.
So it was Marvin, myself, Ronald, and Howard Smith. And Howard Smith was an incredible singer. So Howard left. He left the group, and he went out to sing with Andre Crouch. I forget what album it was. I think it was the Thinking of You album. And
I'll be thinking.
Yeah.
That's a great track.
Yeah, that's a great track.
I love that track.
Andre was the man.
You're a bad boy, yeah.
And so Howard began to tell Andre about these brothers back in Detroit.
Yeah.
that he was singing with. And so when Andre went on tour with the Disciples, they came to Michigan State, and they had us open up for him. After that, they presented us with contracts.
Wow.
But even after signing the contract, it took us 2 years to get in the studio.
Wow. Why so long?
I don't know.
Just
and the way we got in, my dad said, hey, look, they've been waiting too long. We're going to get in the car and drive to L.A., and that's what we did. So when we got to L.A., we called Bill Maxwell and said, hey, man, we here in L.A. Y'all here? I said, yeah. So let's start recording.
Pops got tired of waiting.
Yeah, he got tired
We
of
go
waiting.
get in the car, leave Detroit, and drive to L.A. We go get in the studio. I ain't mad at Pops, man.
What he did.
2 years taking too long, man.
I know.
I ain't mad at him. That's a great story. This is why I love having these conversations. I've known the Winans for years. They're friends of mine.
Yeah.
I feel a part of the family.
Yes, sir.
And there's still stories I don't know. So I just learned that story. It's going to be a great hour. Carvin Winans is live in studio. We'll talk about his solo stuff. Got a great project with Kevin Edmonds. We'll talk about that and a great deal more. But we're celebrating the Winans with Carvin Winans on Tavis Smiley.
It reminds me of prodigal son. After his riotous living, all the evil he had done. Yet when he returned, his father received him home, gave him a ring of gold, put him on the road, killed the fatted calf, gave him something he never ever had. Restoration has finally come. I've been restored back to my house. Go say it one more time. Restoration has finally come. Been restored, my brother. Restored back to my place and God.
Every day, somebody somewhere is trying to silence the truth. Not on this show. For over 3 decades now, Tavis Smiley has been bringing you the conversations that matter, the voices that challenge, the ideas that move us forward. From the halls of power to the heart of the community, Tavis covers it all. Real talk in real time. This is Tavis Smiley.
My name is Ariel. When I arrived in the U.S. at 19, I struggled to find job opportunities without my high school diploma. My entire life changed when I took a chance and got my high school diploma at age 22. Everything I have, my education, my career, my marriage, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and my teachers. They were with me every step of the way, helping with my English and math, making sure I pushed through all the challenges.
Ariel, your success proves that what I'm doing as a teacher has real meaning.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
In a world full of noise, one station keeps it real. KBLA Talk 1580, where the conversation goes deeper, the voices sound like yours, and the issues that matter most to our community take center stage. Progressive, powerful, unapologetically us. Whether you're driving through the city or tuning in from your home or office, join the public square. KBLA Talk 1580, your home for talk that enlightens, encourages, and empowers. Listen live on our free KBLA 1580 app, on our website at KBLA1580.com, or on your radio dial at 1580 AM.
Unapologetically progressive. Made fresh daily in Leimert Park, Los Angeles, California. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
My heart was blessed.
It's Heart and Soul from the Winans. Carvin Winans is in studio with us, and we've been waiting on this conversation. Glad he's here. We've been celebrating the Winans all 3 hours of our show today. So as I often do when the guests in studio, I let them choose the walk-on song. I did not give Carvin that privilege today because I wanted to start with The Question Is, the song that broke the Winans all those years ago. So I thought I'd be nice to him and at least coming out of this break, let him choose a song. He chose Heart and Soul, and he told me, again, I'm learning stuff every day that I've known Carvin for a long time, did not know this was your favorite album. Of all the albums y'all have done, why is this your favorite, and why did you choose Heart and Soul?
I just think it had that whole album just had a nice movement to it. You know, we had George Duke, who produced a few songs, and he was just amazing.
Amazing guy. George Duke did the theme song for my radio show years ago.
Did he? Oh,
won a Grammy for it.
Wow.
He did. I didn't.
Wow. But he was just an amazing guy.
Absolutely.
You know? And just George could just bring the best out of you in the studio. I remember when we did there's a song on the album called Universal Love, and I do all falsetto basically in it, right? So George, we get in the studio, and I look in the back, and I see in the glass, I see Ron Isley, right? I said, why is he in here on my session?
Mr. Big. Mr. Big.
And he's Mr. Falsetto,
yes,
right?
He is.
You know?
He's
and
the
this
king
song
of it,
was falsetto. I was like, okay. Is this going to energize me? Which it did. You know, I looked at Ron. I said, okay, Ron, I got something for you.
Okay.
But George, he could bring the best out of you, you know?
Yeah.
And so that was my favorite album. I love Heart and Soul. The transition between me and Marvin, how we go head to head, and kind of, you know, his voice is different than mine. And,
since you mentioned Ron Isley, just talk to me about your appreciation of his falsetto, because nobody has done it the way Ron Isley has.
My goodness. And just a nice, I had dinner with him a couple years ago.
Right.
And just amazing, man. I mean, he's still doing it at his age right now. But his falsetto was just, and I'm just a stickler for great singing, you know.
Sure.
And he just had that voice, man, that you just wanted to kind of emulate that, you know. And nobody really could, but you wanted to get close to it, you know.
With a family of so many gifted artists, is it just an age thing? How did you, Marvin, Michael, and Ronald end up being the first four out? Because now everybody's got, you know, albums, right?
Right.
But was it just your age? I mean, why did y'all break first, and why the four of you? Why didn't BB and CeCe break first? I mean, why did it happen in that order?
BB wanted to be in it, you know. Whether he may tell you something different, but he wanted to be in the Winans.
Benjamin.
But my dad was like this: next man up.
Next man up.
Right.
Got
so
it,
when Howard left us, Michael was under me and Marvin age-wise, and he said, you know, y'all gonna put Michael in next.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
Yeah.
You know.
Tell me about your father, Pops' influence on the Winans, the group.
His influence, it wasn't just on us as a family, but his influence was on a lot of people, even in the neighborhood. Because my dad loved young people, right? But as far as the family was concerned, you know, they saw him and my mom, and I have to give my mom some credit too.
Sure.
They saw this gift in their kids, right? Yeah. And so as children, I didn't want to sing, man. I just didn't.
You did not want to?
I did not want to.
Wow. Why not?
Because I was very shy.
Yeah.
Didn't want to be in front of people singing and all that kind of stuff. But they made us rehearse. Yeah. And they just kept us doing it, right? Yeah. And I thought, I'm going to tell you, Tavis, I thought that every family at a certain time of the day was around the, you know, piano singing. I just thought that's how it was in every household, but it wasn't. And
maybe it was in Detroit. It might have been in Detroit.
Been, you know, in Detroit, you know.
So many, as I'm saying, so many great artists. It might have been that way in Detroit.
It might have been that way, but I thought it was that way in every household.
I got you.
But until we got into the business, I kind of looked from the outside in. It was like, you know, this was different. God really had his hand on us, you know. But my mom and dad, they had us rehearse, and I think around 13, my dad was like, you know, I ain't gonna make y'all do this anymore if you don't want to do it, you know. So, but it was kind of too late because you kind of fell in love with it.
At that point,
you know, at that point you kind of fell because we knew we could do it, right? Yeah. And so we just started brushing up on the gift, but they really saw that gift in all their kids, and they just made us, you know, work on it and just make it the best it could be, you know. Yeah. And they could sing all of us under a table, but of course, having 10 kids, they couldn't. Yeah. really do it for a living. They had to work.
I got it. Well,
So,
y'all have taken care of that part. Before I get too far afield, you mentioned Andre Crouch, and I want to. You mentioned the song "I'll Be Thinking of You," that album, and I want to just weave in a little Andre, if it's all right with you.
Oh yeah.
Just in celebration of Andre Crouch. Give it to me, Miles.
Yeah.
Come on, Andre.
Yeah. And this is Crystal Burton too.
She killed this thing.
Killed.
She slayed this thing.
Killed it.
I'll be thinking
Howard.
thinking of you. Though we're far apart, you're in my heart. And there you'll always stay till we meet again someday. I'll be thinking of you.
Come on, Crystal.
Listen to Crystal here, y'all.
I'll be praying for you, yes. I'll be praying for you. Woo. Praying all your hopes and dreams that they will come true. And should there be some rain, I know the sun will shine again, 'cause I'll be praying for you.
Stevie. Stevie. So I was, let that ride, Miles. I was in the studio with Stevie one night after it had been announced that Andre Crouch had passed away.
Right.
And as you know, everybody was at that funeral for
Right.
Andre. And Stevie said, Tavis, they asked me to perform at Andre's funeral. I'm trying to figure out what I should do.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, man, there ain't but one thing to do. He said, what? This track.
Yeah.
You got to do Thinking of You.
Yeah.
Because that harmonica solo on this thing was amazing, and I love the track.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna say that he did it because I suggested he do it, but he did it.
Yeah.
Stevie did this at Andre's funeral. Turn it up, Miles. Turn it up. Turn it up. All right, Carvin Winans, say a word about Andre Crouch. I mean, I think to this day, Andre is still underappreciated. That's my assessment. Talk about Andre Crouch.
No, Andre Crouch was amazing. And you know, a lot of people, once we got on, was trying to take credit. And I would tell people, man, Andre Crouch put the Winans on.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw this thing in us. And from the very first time he heard us, it was like a contract, you know. And he just took us in the studio. And, you know, it was like, I mean, I can't say enough about it. I mean, his stuff was so pure and so well put together. I think that's why we fell in love with him, because his tracks were so well done, you know. And when he took us in the studio, he took us along that same line that he was on. He wanted us to be polished.
Yeah.
And so just like I would say, like Berry Gordy was to a lot of groups in Motown, that's right Andre was to the Winans. You know, he made us. You know, he said, "You guys are gonna be polished. We're gonna pick the right songs. We're gonna do," and he wouldn't let us come out the box until it was done right.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, and you'll take what I mean by this. You mentioned Benjamin Beebe earlier, who's my dear friend, and I can see him rolling his eyes at me with me even asking this question. But since he ain't here, I'm going to ask it anyway. forget Beebe. It was clear to me when BB and CC broke after the Winans, after the four brothers, when they break, their sound is uniquely different than the sound of the brothers. And part of that is, and you know where I'm going, the lyrics.
Yeah.
You all had lyrics that were so steeped.
Yeah.
Am I preaching?
Oh, yeah, no, you're preaching.
As Jones said, can I preach it like I feel it? Can I speak it like I feel it?
Yeah,
Carvin. You all came with such strong lyrics, and so many of your lyrics are actually Bible verses.
Right.
That you, Marvin, the group wrote into songs, but your presentation is different than BB and CC's.
Right.
They come, and we love them none the same.
Right.
I mean, we love them just the same.
Right.
But the approach is different. Was that strategic? Did it just happen that way? Were they looking for a sound that would, in fact, distinguish them from you and lean into their faith, but not? Am I saying something?
No, you saying it right. Y'all
came with straight word in your songs.
And even the church would be mad at us because the tracks were so maybe R&B-ish.
Like the Clark sisters.
Yeah. But like you said, the word was sound. They couldn't go against
absolutely
our
not.
lyrics.
That's right.
BB and CC, and we love what they did. They definitely took it edge. They went on the edge.
More commercial airplay.
Commercial.
Yeah.
And I think that had to do with the writing team that they had, which was Keith Thomas. Who was a great fit for BB and CC.
Right.
And then they wanted to reach that. They saw the Winans reaching a lot of the secular world.
Sure.
Because secular radio was what broke us.
Sure.
It wasn't gospel radio.
Right.
And so they wanted to kind of keep that trend going, but they did dive a little bit deeper, and with a little bit more edgier on it. But never the same. I knew where they were coming from, and I knew they would get a bunch of slack.
Oh no,
but and which they did. But I knew we kind of knew where they were going.
Yeah, coming out of that Kojic tradition, we all know the story of the Clark sisters,
right,
and the trouble that their mom, Maddie Moss Clark, got into with the Kojic organization. And I love so many of my friends at Kojic, Bishop Blake. I love Bishop Blake, my dear friend, former presiding bishop of the Kojic Church. Did the Winans ever get any of the pushback that the Clark sisters got that we all saw in the film about their life story? We know their story, and they got some pushback from the institution, from the organization, from the Kojic Church. Did the Winans ever experience any of that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we experienced it from our church because we're Church of God in Christ. My great-grandfather, I.W. Winans, we grew up in his church, And you talk about strict.
Yeah.
People even around the church when we came out was calling our music devil music.
Wow.
And so and the gospel community, they wouldn't play it.
Yeah.
And we went to high school with the Clark sisters, so we know what they went through too.
Oh, yeah.
And Maddie Moss was instrumental in helping us as the testimonial singers, because she had this thing called Midnight Musicals that she would throw for all the up and coming talent in Detroit, right? And so we knew what they were going through. So when we finally signed with Andre and our stuff came out, we went through the same thing. The church, they just frowned upon it, until kind of like the world accepted us.
Yeah.
Right? And then they was like, no, they belong to us. Yeah. And then they start playing our music and, but we got a lot of pushback, Tavis.
Yeah, Miles, give me You Just Don't Want to Be Loved. I want to hear some of that as we push to this next segment. I'm glad that Carvin Winans is in studio, 5-time Grammy Award-winning gospel and R&B singer, songwriter, producer, founding member of the Winans. This family, as I said earlier, is just gospel music royalty, and we are honored to have one of the princes of this family, Carvin Winans, live in studio. He's got some solo stuff we'll talk about. I'm glad I got him for the full hour. More of Carvin Winans when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Just to walk in the night. I haven't heard a verbal no, but your actions show you just don't want to be loved. You disregard all my calls as if I hadn't called at all. But all the time I know you here makes me really feel you just don't want to be loved. Oh, when loving kindness sounds wrong, and with goodness I will leave. With my blood I'll wash away all iniquity. So come and take my hand, I will lead you all the way. For tomorrow will be much brighter than your yesterday. So much brighter than your yesterday. I cry for you in every place, but your response is still the same. It seems ordinary. You just don't want to be loved. You always seem to hide emptiness inside. I will set you free if you turn and leave. I just don't want to be loved.
Who's sitting across from Tavis this week? Leaders, legends, game changers. The people shaping the country and the culture. They come to Tavis Smiley because this is where the real conversations happen. No spin, no fluff, just straight talk and straight answers. Tavis Smiley, because the Kingian question, where do we go from here, starts right here.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. White 19-year-old Lucas Roper in Dallas, Texas, has been arrested for evidence tampering in the drowning death of black 18-year-old Daniel Irving, whose body was found in Lake Ray Hubbard in April. Dominique Alexander with the Next Generation Action Network.
Tampering with the evidence charge is an outright disrespect to this family.
The victim's family is demanding murder charges, alleging the suspect tried to cover up the incident by deleting messages from Irving's phone. A black woman from California, 28-year-old Raizana Greenhoward, is facing murder and child abuse charges nearly 8 months after the death of her 2-year-old son in Lancaster. Investigators say the child suffered severe burns, and authorities are still working to determine exactly how he was injured. And Maryland's black Governor Wes Moore has approved an expansion of Baltimore's enterprise zone by 120 acres. State officials say the move is designed to spur economic growth. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Now at Big O, get happy with our Healthy Car Special. Includes a full synthetic oil change, 4-tire rotation, alignment check, brake, battery, and windshield wiper check. Plus, fluids topped off, all for only $59.99. Healthy car, happy life. Now at your local Big O Tires.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers begin the second half of the season Friday night in New York against the Yankees. The 3-game series with the Yankees is part of a 9-game road trip for the Dodgers on the East Coast. The road trip will be a good test for the Dodgers to maintain their stature as Major League Baseball's best team. Spain is in the World Cup championship match after their 2-0 win over France in the semifinals. Spain will meet the winner of today's semifinal between England and Argentina. The World Cup final is Sunday in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The WNBA would prefer folks not to talk about this, but I'm going to mention it anyway. 65% of WNBA players are African American, but none of the 15 teams in the WNBA have an African American woman as their head coach. 7 of the head coaches are white women, 8 are men. The WNBA needs to work on this issue. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Number 14. That's where Talkers Magazine ranked Tavis Smiley on their Heavy 100 list of the 100 most important talk radio hosts in America. Join Tavis weekdays, 9 a.m. to noon or 9 p.m. to midnight, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
July is Disability Pride Month, a time to celebrate identity, individuality, and inclusion. Pride means showing up as your full, authentic self without apology. Let's celebrate what makes every one of us unique. Easter Seals Disability Services honors Disability Pride Month. Learn more at socal.easterseals.com.
At concerts, we dance to the same tune. At games, we hug total strangers. At marathons, we hand water to people we'll never see again. We pull over to help. We stop for someone who's fallen. We give. We step up. We show up. And yet, in these moments, there's also something we don't do. We don't act based on how they look, who they love, where they're from, or what they believe. We just act. Because the things that make us different will never change what makes us human. Go to lovehasnolabels.com to learn more. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
This November, you'll decide who leads California. So shouldn't you hear directly from the people asking for your vote? Join us for California Voices, a political town hall and ballot forum, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026. Meet candidates running for governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, and other major statewide and local offices, including mayor of Los Angeles, city attorney, and LA County sheriff. Get clear, nonpartisan breakdowns of the propositions on your November ballot, both sides, no spin. And ask your questions directly, in real conversation, face to face. California Voices is brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the Empowerment Congress, giving you the information you need before you vote. Mark your calendar, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026, California Voices. Follow KBLA 1580 for details and download the KBLA 1580 app. Your vote, your voice. Be there.
Let's get back to more of this rich dialogue with Tavis Smiley.
Carvin, the artist, has heard me say this many, many times. Prince was one of my dearest friends in the world, and I miss him every day. And there was always a point in any Prince concert where he looked at the audience and say, what should I play next? And you get it, right? Everybody starts yelling out song titles. Yeah. What should I play next? And he would let it go for 30 seconds. Yeah. People just screaming and yelling all kind of song titles. And he'd lean into the microphone. He'd say, so many hits, so little time. So many hits, so little time. I feel that way about the Winans.
Thank you.
So many hits, so little time. I can't do justice. I've been at this for 3 hours, weaving in and out of all these conversations today with all my guests playing the best of the Winans, and I feel like I ain't scratched the surface. I'm looking at this list next to me of just the top 25 hits. And I ain't scratched surface on that, let alone all the other songs on these albums, not to mention the B-sides, right? Just so many hits. When you look back on this career that you've had, I'm pushing toward your solo stuff here, your solo stuff in a second here, but just talk to me about how you process, without proselytizing here, how good God has been to you and your family.
Wow, man. And like I said earlier, I thought everybody was doing this in their home, but then I realized that it was something special. The guy had his hand on us, watching Marvin growing up, and he was the principal songwriter at the beginning, and just how serious he was about it. And then, I talked to God. I said, God, I want to be a songwriter. I want to write. I think I have the ability. And so, and it was so hard to get a song on the Winans record, bro. Yeah. It was hard.
Why? Because Marvin cried.
Marvin and Ronald, it was 4 of us in the group, Tavis, and when we had a vote, even if it was split 2-2, me and Michael and Marvin and Ronald, they still won. So it was hard to get a song. They didn't really recognize me until I wrote "God Gave Me the Song Tomorrow." And even at that,
Miles, queued up tomorrow.
And even at that, I had to trick them into doing, because I called Marvin one day. I said, "Hey, I heard this song," and I started singing. Jesus said, "Here I stand. Won't you please let me in?" And you said, "I will tomorrow." Jesus said, "I am He." And then when it got to the main part, tomorrow.
Yeah. Who promised
Give my
you?
life
Yeah.
tomorrow. So he said, man, who wrote that? I said, man. He said, man, that's got to go on the next album. I said, I did.
Turn it up, Miles. Turn it up. Turn it up.
And so that's how we got that on there.
Jesus said, here I stand. Won't you please let me in? And you said, I will tomorrow. Jesus said, I am he who supplies all your needs. And you said, I know, but tomorrow, tomorrow, I'll give my life tomorrow. I thought about today, but it's so much easier to say tomorrow. Who promised you tomorrow? Better choose the Lord today, for tomorrow very well might be too late.
So you had to do all that to convince Marvin that you could write.
I'm telling you, man.
But you killed this thing, man.
Thank you, bro.
And the lyrics.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Turn it up, Miles. I want you to more than that, man.
Take my hand, and you say, I will tomorrow. Jesus said, I am he who supplies all your needs. And you said, I know.
I want to get to the bridge on this thing. Yeah. To the bridge, Miles. To the bridge. Here we go. My question is, after you did this, and everybody fell in love with this song on that album, your track, Tomorrow, did Marvin ease up? Did he let you write some more stuff?
Yeah, he let me. But I'm gonna tell you another story.
Yeah.
Tavis, I wrote a song called "Make It Like It Was" for the Winans, and we were doing the Decisions album, the same album that Anita was on and Michael McDonald was on, and they loved the song, him and Ronald. But they said it didn't fit that project.
Don't tell me that song went to
Regina Bell.
Oh, I knew you were about to say that.
Yes, sir. I gave it to Regina.
You wrote that song?
Yes, sir.
Miles, find it right quick.
We're number one.
R&B. Make It Like It Was, Regina Bell. Regina was on this program maybe a year or so ago.
Oh, yeah?
I did not realize you wrote that song.
Yeah. I wrote it for the Winans.
Oh, my
I gave it
goodness.
to her, and she called me the next day, said, CBS said, oh, we doing this. You know. Yeah, I wrote that.
Carvin, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
Regina slayed this thing.
Killed it.
Number one.
We knocked Quincy out of the first place spot on the R&B chart.
Every day we used to slip away to talk. We would talk about the goodness of your heart. Now it seems a myth that never existed, oh, and it leaves me feeling empty. With this hollow call, make it like it was, the way it used to be, when I hungered for your love constantly.
See, this story reminds me of so many other stories I've heard over the course of my career. Let it ride, Miles. From so many great artists. There's always a backstory, right? This audience knows it's the backstory that I love. Right. And see, all this stuff that I would never have known had you not come in studio today to share with me the backstory. They told George Benson, don't sing, just play the guitar.
Right, yeah.
Some idiot told George Benson,
I know.
don't sing, just play the guitar. Somebody told Jeffrey Osborne, don't sing, just play the drums.
Wow.
Are you feeling me?
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Can I preach it like I feel it?
Preach it. Preach it, Tavis.
And Marvin told Carvin, just sing your falsetto, Negro. Just sing your falsetto. I got the songwriting. I got this. And then he breaks out with Tomorrow, writes this song for the Winans. Marvin said, nah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Regina Bell takes it, and the rest, as they say,
is history.
You're listening to Carvin Winans on Tavis Smiley.
I know you're able to make it like it was. Now when I compare, there's really no comparing. I just want it the way it used to be. Just the thought of living without your love makes me ask that you make it.
She's sharp. She's fearless.
I don't know what they told you, but if they told you that cutting me off is how I'm going to get clicks, stop it now.
She's that girl, and she's bringing all of that to your radio this summer. Amanda Seales is here.
I am Amanda Seales.
Comedian, artist, actress, activist, truth teller. The woman who never bites her tongue is coming to KBLA Talk 1580. And baby, the conversations are about to be unmatched. Every Friday, she's going to be lit, noon to 2 p.m., and back again, 4 to 6 p.m. Starting Friday, July 17th, only on KBLA Talk 1580. Amanda Seales, keeping it real, keeping it raw, and keeping it rooted. Politics, pop culture, black excellence, the stuff they don't want us talking about. Amanda's talking about all of it.
You keep interrupting me when I'm talking, and you don't want to hear the point that I'm going to make. And yet you want me to respect your point. And that's not how a debate works.
This is not your average radio show. This is a Seales Summer. Fridays, noon to 2, 4 to 6. Starting Friday, July 17th. Only on KBLA Talk 1580. Don't just listen. Tune in.
Getting around LA doesn't have to cost a lot. Metro has fares that fit every budget. 20 free rides for qualified riders through the Life Fare program. Free passes for students with GoPass. And affordable options for everyone in between. Wherever you're going, Metro's got you covered. Visit metro.net/fare programs.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Can I touch this? Where does sand come from? Is this tree good for climbing? What happens if I mix these two things together? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Storing your guns securely is the best way to prevent family fire, including unintentional shootings. For more information on safe gun storage and ways to keep your family safe, visit endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org.
What do we keep in the attic? What's this thing called? Can I ride my bike backwards?
Like I said, kids are curious. It's up to us to keep them safe. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
You're my shining star. I'd fly to the moon to be right where you are. was struggling. No one seemed to care, but you were right there for me. Giving all of your heart. There's so much to deserve. I'm trying to find the words. You're my everything. Tell me, where do I start? Jesus, no one does it better, Lord. We're in this thing together. When it's me and you, I can do anything. You're my shining star.
So Carvin's got all kind of hits. He got hits with the Winans, even though Marvin was a hater. His twin brother was a hater. Wouldn't let him write nothing. So he writing #1 hits for Regina Bell and writing stuff for Peebo Bryson. I can throw that in there. He writing stuff for all these stars. And finally, Marvin got convinced he could write for them. But he's got solo hits, too. He got solo hits. I'll let you tell who this is singing with you. This is Shining Star. Talk about it.
Shining Star, and that's with me is Mr. Carvin Edmonds.
Carvin Edmonds.
From After 7.
Babyface's brother.
Babyface's brother. And just a great guy, man. Just a great talent. When the song came out, I did it on my album, but then we wanted to do a remix, right? And so I was talking to a friend of mine named Mark Harris, and Mark, I asked him, did he know Kavan? And he said, yeah, because I had met Kavan years ago when After 7 did the Winans Christmas special. But he said, yeah, I know Kavan very well. He's one of my best friends. I said, well, man, I need to send him this song because I want him on this. You know? And Kavan, I sent it to him. He called me back and said, Carvin, man, this is one of them.
Yeah. There you go, one of them.
So he said, yeah, I'll be glad to be on it. And, man, we went in the studio. My wife, Cherie, when Kavan was doing this part, she couldn't sit still in the chair because he was killing it. You know, I couldn't sit still either because he was killing. To me, he just has one of the best R&B voices out there. You know.
Yeah.
And just a talented cat, man.
Speaking of families with giftedness,
the Edmonds
family got it too.
You better know it.
No,
you better know it.
I celebrate all these black families in so many genres where you see just prodigious talent.
Yeah.
You got the Winans and you got the Wayans.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love the Wayans.
You got the Wayans, you got the Edmonds. I mean, some of these families, just the Jacksons, of course.
That's right,
all know
the
that.
Jacksons, absolutely.
But there are some families that are just so gifted. It's a blessing from God.
It is.
There's no question about it.
It is.
But when you put Edmonds and Winans, you end up with something nice.
Yeah.
Our remaining moments with Carvin Winans when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Helping to stretch your moral and political imagination. This is Tavis Smiley. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. These are hard times for housing in America. Too many in our community face barriers to safe housing, behavioral health care, and affirming spaces for healing, particularly those impacted by poverty and stigma or incarceration. Rooted in South LA, Ahmad supports impacted communities through housing, wellness, and leadership development. Ahmad provides culturally responsive, peer-led support from transitional housing and mental health services to leadership development and youth empowerment. They offer safe, affirming houses for youth, transgender women, and formerly incarcerated individuals. Therapy and peer support with a focus on healing trauma in Black communities. HIV prevention and care, free testing, education, and wraparound services for whole person wellness. Standing in the gap with health, housing, and hope. Reach out to Ahmad Institute at 323-569-1610. That's 323-569-1610. Or visit amaad.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. The midterm election campaign season is here now. The 2028 presidential election is right around the corner. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. It's all in for 2026 and 2028. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You say you'd never give in to a meltdown. Never let kids' toys take over the house. And never fill your feed with kid photos. You'd never plan your life around their schedule. Never lick your thumb to clean their face. And you'd never let them leave the house looking like less than their best. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it. Never let them stay up too late. And never let them run wild through the grocery store.
Peanut on aisle 6 and aisle 3.
So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, no, it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Freedom is an endless meeting, so let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Hope to be the best image of you when I'm standing on that hill, bending knee when I come to you, when I need your will. Oh, blessings, blessings, rain down on me, blessings, blessings.
So, Carvin, you got me on this because growing up in a Pentecostal church, when I hear a Hammond B3, I'm all in, right? Just the sound of the Hammond B3 pulls me in.
Yeah.
And then you flipped it on me.
Yeah, we went Afrobeat.
I didn't see that beat, Afrobeat coming, man.
That Hammond B3, you right. That was in every church.
Yeah, man. Tell me about this track, Blessings.
You know, I just felt like in this day and time, Tavis, everybody needs a blessing. You know, the stuff we going through, this world situation, and, you know, the people we have in office. It's just, you know, we need God to just rain down some blessings just to keep us sane, you know? And so I think we were able to touch it, you know, with this song.
Well, somebody said when the praises go up,
the blessings come down.
The blessings come down.
Absolutely.
So if we want some blessings to come down, we better start sending some praises up.
That's right. That's what I tell people all the time.
Yeah, man. But I'm going to leave it there, man. Carvin, I knew this hour was going to be great. Carvin and I ran into each other not too long ago at a Kim Burrell show.
Yes.
And she slated that night.
Yes, she did.
And I said, Carvin, we got to get together, man. And lo and behold, here we are together in studio for this hour, which I knew was going to be, speaking of blessings, I knew it was going to be a blessing to have you in, man. But this has been so amazing.
Well, Tavis, you know, like you said earlier, you know, we're family. You've been knowing us for years. You've helped us through our career, you know, all of our careers, you know, the Winans for years. And so when I saw you, man, my wife was the first one to say, just Tavis. And I said, oh, shoot. Yeah. And I hadn't seen you in I don't know when.
It's been a long time.
And so Tavis said, Carvin.
Yeah.
He said it right, and he meant it. He said, you on the show, brother. you on the show. I
Yeah.
said, okay.
Well,
Just let me know. I'll be there.
I'm glad you accepted the invitation.
Oh, brother.
I'm glad you came in. It's been a great hour. I've learned a lot about you and the family that I didn't know. I'm going to be laughing about this the rest of the day. I say all the time, I always leave this studio smarter than when I came in. I'm learning something every single day. I love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it.
Love you too, bro.
I just love you.
too.
Carvin Winans. Just like that, 3 hours are gone. Back here tomorrow, Lord willing, to do it all over again. Until tomorrow, thanks for listening to Tavis Smiley. You be blessed. And as always, keep the faith.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. White 19-year-old Lucas Roper in Dallas, Texas, has been arrested for evidence tampering in the drowning death of black 18-year-old Daniel Irving, whose body was found in Lake Ray Hubbard in April. Dominique Alexander with the Next Generation Action Network.
Tampering with the evidence charge is an outright disrespect to this family.
The victim's family is demanding murder charges, alleging the suspect tried to cover up the incident by deleting messages from Irving's phone. A black woman from California, 28-year-old Raizana Greenhoward, is facing murder and child abuse charges nearly 8 months after the death of her 2-year-old son in Lancaster. Investigators say the child suffered severe burns, and authorities are still working to determine exactly how he was injured. And Maryland's black Governor Wes Moore has approved an expansion of Baltimore's Enterprise Zone by 120 acres. State officials say the move is designed to spur economic growth. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Now at Big O, get happy with our healthy car special. Includes a full synthetic oil change, 4-tire rotation, alignment check, brake, battery, and windshield wiper check. Plus, fluids topped off, all for only $59.99. Healthy car, happy life. Now at your local Big O Tires.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers begin the second half of the season Friday night in New York against the Yankees. The 3-game series with the Yankees is part of a 9-game road trip for the Dodgers on the East Coast. The road trip will be a good test for the Dodgers to maintain their stature as Major League Baseball's best team. Spain is in the World Cup championship match after their 2-0 win over France in the semifinals. Spain will meet the winner of today's semifinal between England and Argentina. The World Cup final is Sunday in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The WNBA would prefer folks not to talk about this, but I'm going to mention it anyway. 65% of WNBA players are African American, but none of the 15 teams in the WNBA have an African American woman as their head coach. 7 of the head coaches are white women, 8 are men. The WNBA needs to work on this